Huh? What? Oh, yeah. I already got them.
Good.
For the tripod. Hello. Hi, Mayra.
Want me to hold it?
Oh, dang.
Wait.
I flipped it the wrong way. Usually I do it the other way, but this time it's this way.
Okay, just do this then.
Okay.
Hi. Hi, Dora. Long time.
Hi, Dora.
I feel like it's been forever.
Hi, Jenna. Hi, Liz. This is hard. I've never... I flipped the phone
Hello,
upside down by
everyone.
accident. Than how I normally...
It's okay. That's fine.
But we don't have
Hi,
a tripod.
everyone.
It's better
I'll
if
just hold it.
No, our arms will get tired. Here, let's sit here and then prop it on the laptop.
Okay.
That's better. Hi, everybody. Yes, my hair. My new hair. Da-da-da-da. Oh, sorry, just we lost our attachment for...
There we go. This is good, right?
Yeah. We lost our tripod attachment for my phone. We're live streaming with the phone, so we're just trying to like figure out how to set up the camera. Oh, here. This is a better way to do it.
There's a better way to do it?
Yep. If we go to...
So, hi guys, I'm healthy. I'm going back to school again tomorrow. I have
That's
4
great.
days left. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah,
Going back to
congrats, She has she had cancer. So she's finally out of the hospital.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's amazing. This is better. Okay, I'm just getting your chat like set up so we could see it.
Okay, so we see our chat here on this screen. Mori. That was too fast.
머리 귀엽 귀인.
No, that text is so small. I can't even see it.
I know, here, look.
I need glasses.
I put it on the screen.
Okay.
If you need it bigger, we can make the text, we can zoom up on this too.
Okay. So how is Nami doing with her pregnancy? We have 2 weeks left of the pregnancy.
Yep.
The C-section is dated. Is the camera
2 weeks
here?
and 2 days. It's here, so that's why I said I flipped my phone upside down by accident.
Okay, so I'm looking here. Okay, so
it's confusing
C-section
because usually it's on that side.
On July 9th.
Yep.
At
so
2 p.m.
2 weeks and 2 days left.
So very soon. Excited about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you chosen a name? We've chosen a name. We're probably going to reveal it after the baby's born. And we just want to make sure like we meet her first before we announce her name so that we're certain about her name. But we do have a name and a middle name in mind.
Janelle says, how are you today? By the way, congratulations, Chanel. I'm so happy that you're going back to school.
Me too.
Keep up the good work.
Keep it up.
Yes, keep forward. How are you doing today? Today was a nice day. I went over to another...
Oh, yeah. Michael was speaking at a seminar at a different church today.
I'm going to upload it this coming week. I recorded it,
Oh, he recorded his seminar.
Yes. I'm getting allergies. I'm about to sneeze. I'm fighting it back right now.
There's tissue here if you need.
Hi, Rochelle.
Here,
yes, our kids are asleep. It's 11 p.m.
He needs it. Oh, thank you, Cindy. That's so sweet. Michael, my man.
Yes, we do have a Korean name.
What's your Korean name?
No, for the baby.
No. Does Michael have a Korean name?
Oh, yes. My Korean name is Jonghoon.
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 Yeah.
What does it mean?
I don't know what it means.
Something about light, right? Like
I don't know.
A bright light or something?
No clue. Nami, will you be bleaching your hair in the future?
I don't know. That's a good question, Miguel, because like for now, I'm probably gonna avoid straining my body until I'm done breastfeeding, because whenever I bleach my hair, I do find that my immune system goes to heal my scalp, and I get a lot of infections everywhere else in my body. So to avoid that, and just to avoid like the long hours of standing or sitting and just having my arms up, we might wait until maybe I'm done breastfeeding.
Yes.
But I'm not sure, like maybe I'll also grow out my hair so that I can donate it and chop it off when I do that then.
Yes.
Because the last time I chopped my hair off, I sold it, but then I want to kind of do like sell my hair, donate my hair, selling my hair, donate my hair. But if I bleach my hair, I'm unable to do both. So when I chopped my hair this time, I couldn't do anything with my hair. That's why I just had to give it to my mom.
And I think you were gonna dye it like a color, brown or black or something, right?
Yeah, before the baby. So I'll really look like the manager.
Yes.
The manager haircut. Let me speak to the manager. What kind of infections? That sound painful. Yeah, they're really annoying because they come like, usually they come like every 1 to 3 months. It's usually like issues with my digestion and issues with my...
Come closer.
With my, what's it called? Like probiotics in my gut. And so I get a lot of like infections that only women deal with. Yeah, ever since I was like 12 or 13, I think, I regularly got like infections like UTI and yeast infection because of my gut, my poor gut and my poor like probiotic system in my gut. So
yes. Nancy asks, how big is the baby? She's a bit small. She's on like the 25th percentile. So lighter.
Yeah, so we're expecting when she's born, we're expecting her to be like less than 6 pounds.
Whoa, that's pretty small. Yeah.
Yeah, less than 6 pounds because she'll be a week early. And she's 15th percentile. So
15. So that's pretty small.
Yeah.
Probably less than 6 pounds then.
Yeah. Less than 6 pounds.
The baby doesn't really, I don't know, sleep more or less later on in the term.
Oh, what's the question?
Does the baby sleep more or less later in the pregnancy? I think it's about the same, right?
I think it's about the same, yeah.
Yes, and
because the baby develops when it's sleeping, so it's usually just sleeping.
Yes, and when the baby is born,
when you're pregnant,
baby's sleeping like 16 hours
in a day,
right?
yeah.
And
they're just awake just to eat and then burp and then poo and then go to sleep.
Yes, or burp, eat, poo.
They don't really stay awake.
Gas pain. They have to fart.
Yeah, they have to fart. They usually don't sleep. I mean, they usually don't stay up to play until like the 3 month mark.
Yeah.
When they're 3 months, then they start to kind of stay up and fart.
And they don't get bored either.
Less than 6 pounds. She's gonna be so small. I know. I'm actually kind of excited because like I feel like if she's smaller, it'll be easier for me to hold her. She'll be as heavy. But yeah.
So my name, it's spelled with the Chong, not Chung, but Chong with kind of like a
Junghon.
Yes,
Hoon. I think there's a Korean singer by the name of Junghoon.
Probably. It's a pretty common name.
Oh, thanks, Wolfie. I want to go back to black hair to pink. From black hair to pink. Any tips?
Black pink.
It depends on the shade of pink, and then it also depends on the layout that you want on your hair. Like, do you want your whole head pink? I would suggest if it's like your not first time, but like if you're not fully comfortable with your whole head, you want to do your whole head. Okay. What about the shade then? The shade of pink. Like, if it depends if you want to go vibrant, like bright pink, or like a cherry pink, or like a wine pink, or like a burgundy pink, or like a pastel pink. Then the type of product, peachy or cherry, then you'd probably have to bleach it.
Yeah, that's pretty bright.
Or you can find a cherry pink permanent dye without bleaching it. That could work too.
This is a funny question.
From
Kaylee asks, what dramas are you guys watching if you are? Right now we aren't, but I suspect that we might be watching some
Attack on Titan!
Dramas or animes.
We haven't watched dramas in a really long time.
Because with the newborn, oftentimes when you're up at like 3 or 4 a.m. because you're feeding and then cleaning, sometimes when you're brain dead, you just want to watch something while you're trying to put the baby back to sleep.
Yeah.
But I can imagine us
it's hard on your
trying
body.
to watch something. Yeah.
If you're just holding the baby and trying to put the baby back to sleep, it's like grueling. So if your brain is doing something else while your body is like, it's kind of like when you're doing chores, you like to listen to podcasts or music.
Right.
To like when you're doing brainless kind of physical work, physical labor that's brainless. Then,
yes.
Yeah.
But dramas, I mean, they're all
good.
They're good. I mean, the
There's
writers
so many
are
good
good,
ones,
producers and directors are good, the actors are good.
Yeah.
Whatever you watch, it can be very good. So
yeah.
The thing is, just don't start the first episode or else you're hooked.
Yeah.
That's the general rule of thumb. Just don't watch the first episode.
Oh, thank you, Bird Piece. Is it hard to color natural white hair? Blue or pink? Actually, I don't think it would be as hard because you don't have to bleach it. But I do hear that semi-permanents react differently to naturally white hair because it's generally healthier as well. I want to turn, Michael. Can we sit here?
You want to turn?
Yeah, can you come to this chair?
Okay.
Because the light is like really bad.
The light is not good?
Yeah, just come here. To this side. To this chair. Sorry, we're gonna turn you guys. That's much better. Because it was like so radiant that I couldn't see myself and anything. Okay. See, look at the difference. Ooh.
Oops.
The mouse just like, all the batteries spilled out. The guts of the mouse spilled out. Why are you guys having the baby a week early? Because we have to do a C-section, and when you do a C-section, you usually book a week in advance to make sure that there's less risk of you going into labor yourself or having contractions before the baby is born. So that's why we have to give birth and book the C-section a week in advance from the due date. Yeah, because there's a chance that, like, if you give birth and have a C-section and you go into labor, then your uterus could rupture. So it's not that common. I think it's only like 2 to 5% of risk, or like maybe less than that. Maybe like 1% risk.
Yeah,
it's pretty small. It's pretty
Very
low
small.
of uterine rupture.
Yeah.
But if you go, hi Hannah, if you go into labor, like there's still a chance that you, like, probably the risk is low because they perform C-section anyway. I don't know.
So how do you feel in this hairstyle? Does it make you feel cute, edgy? You know, do you change your persona? Do you feel like a different woman? Does it make you confident?
Okay, practically speaking, it feels really light. Like, I feel like I have my hair, like, especially if I put my hair behind my ears, I feel like I have my hair in a ponytail with no ponytail. Like, there's no pulling on my scalp. There's no, like, thing dangling. It's like a ponytail with nothing. In terms of how I feel, like, when I look at myself, I don't know, because I didn't really look at myself a lot in the mirror since I cut it, and my mom still didn't clean it up for me yet because we just haven't found a schedule to do that.
Yes.
But I like it because, like, I already like my bangs to begin with. I feel like they're kind of cute. Yeah. And with this short hair, I just feel like, most of all, I just feel comfortable and convenient. That's overriding how I feel aesthetically about it.
Okay.
But when I do my makeup, I feel like when I have a full face anyway, I feel good no matter what hair, I guess. I feel like mostly it's like how I do my makeup affects how I feel, like cute or pretty or edgy or whatever. Right. But then my hair is just an accessory to that. So I don't know. That's how I feel. But I feel like...
Yes.
I feel really Asian. I don't know why.
Minnie asks, how long are you going to be in the hospital? Because of the surgery, the doctor said minimum 2 days, or no, 3 days, 72 hours. And
No, I think 48 to 72 hours.
48 to 72.
They monitor your recovery.
Yes, and usually for Nami, it takes about...
But for Ziek, I was out in 2 days. I was out in 48 hours.
It takes about a month for it to, like,
to
close,
fully... No,
right?
they say recovery is 6 weeks, so a month and a half.
6 weeks, month and a half.
But it takes 6 weeks for the incision to heal, and then it takes, or like to close, and then it takes 6 months for it to not feel, for you not to feel a lot of sensitivities and pains there.
Pain there.
And then it takes about a year until like you feel like you don't feel anything.
Yes.
And then it takes 2 years to go back into pre-pregnancy state.
So thanks for your question, Brandy.
That's my timeline.
Thanks for your question,
Both
Brandy.
times,
That
for both
hope that
pregnancies.
answers your question. Joanne asked, "Are you afraid of the boys being
Hi, Joanne.
too rough
With her
and getting used to having a baby?"
I don't think
sister?
so. I'm not really
No, they're
worried
pretty
about-
gentle.
They're very gentle.
Yes.
I think I've been kind of priming them because whenever they're like trying to do something with me, then I always I'm like, oh my belly, like, oh be careful, oh my belly. So then
I think in the beginning, Zeke, when he was younger, around 1 or just turned 2, then I would be a bit more concerned.
Yeah.
For example, he took the hamster when Hammy was still alive.
yeah.
Would just open the cage.
Yeah, he would
and
just open the cage by
take
himself.
the hamster and throw the hamster. And it's like, whoa.
But he's like 1.5.
Yeah, so he
and
didn't know what he was
yeah.
doing there, but
but then the thing is, I think that's his personality too,
Mhm.
to just go and get what he wants.
Yeah, yeah.
But then Galahad would be more careful. He'd be
Yes.
like concerned for the hamster, like, oh, careful.
Yes.
But then Zeke only thinks about what he wants to do at that moment.
Yes.
So he's still kind of like that, but I think he's becoming more aware of his situation and of other people around
Yes,
him.
yes.
So he is more mindful now, even
Mhm.
though like at the beginning of my pregnancy, I had to like constantly remind him to be careful and gentle with my belly, because I kept telling him there's a baby inside my belly and the baby's in a water balloon. If you hurt the water balloon, then the water balloon will pop and the baby will get hurt. So that was
Yes.
my logic for him, and it's actually like literally that's what it is.
Yes.
So like taking the biology and helping them conceptualize it in a way that they understand, I feel like helps Zeke especially, especially when he's so willful all the time anyway.
Yes. Bye. Have a good night.
Good night,
God bless.
Rochelle.
Thank you for joining us. Zeke's personality.
Zeke is so big. Yeah,
he
he's
is like
gotten
that.
really big.
What was your actual
Throwing
due date? My birthday is July 20th, so I'm curious. I think the actual date was on the
15th.
15th.
Oh, so we were actually supposed to book the pregnancy the C-section for July 8th, which is Galahad's birthday. But then, and he was really excited. But then, because July 8th is a Monday, and a lot of the patients who need to book and mothers who need to book C-sections for the Sunday got pushed back to the Monday because it's a booked surgery. It's not emergency.
Yes.
We got pushed back from Monday to Tuesday.
Yes. Chanel, you can email me at mikepark8@gmail.com.
He's giving you his
let us know
non-business email.
Let us know when you'll be here in
his
Toronto.
personal business email.
Nami will be...
Oh, she's coming?
meeting. You'll be doing a meetup, right, in July?
Yeah,
but
July
after
6th, I think.
I know that after the baby,
Or 5th.
after the
I'm not
newborn,
sure.
it gets pretty busy for us for 3 months. We typically don't really do any meetups.
We just I just kind of survive. We just kind of survive the first 3 months of baby.
Yes. Do you think... So Chanel asked, do you think having an undercut as a girl is dumb or nice?
I think it's cute. I had an undercut for a bit. Even now, like, it's kind of an undercut, no? Right?
I think undercut can look really nice.
Yeah, they're just kind of hard to maintain because once they
You
grow
have to
out,
keep cutting
you
it.
see it like kind of growing out. I think we shouldn't touch the table. Look what's happening.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So Love Yourself asks, are Zeke and Galahad excited for the new baby? Yes, you spelled their names correctly.
They're both really excited.
Super excited. We're kind of hyping it up too.
Yeah.
And we're saying, because Zeke is very clingy, I'm like, you know what, the newborn.
When the baby's born,
yeah.
you're not baby anymore. You
Yeah.
can't be baby anymore. So suck it up. That's what
But then again,
Zeke.
he's a middle child. I really love
Yeah.
being a middle child. I like to be left
Yeah.
alone. But
Zeke, Zeke, you know what I realized? Zeke has a big heart. But
does.
that means he
does.
really needs that much more filling in his
Yes.
heart.
So the eldest, I find, the eldest, typically I think parents are the most, they consider the best. And then the youngest, they favor them the most. And then the middle, I don't know how it's not going to be. I think how it's going to be like for us is we're going to bless the middle child the most.
Mullet rise.
So first is best, last is favored, middle is the most blessed. That's just kind of like an attitudinal feeling that I have seeing it right now. But we'll see how it kind of works out over the years. But very important that
Here, why don't you put this on your lap?
we don't
touch the table because it will shake.
Okay.
No, don't even put this on the table. Just put it on the lap.
Okay, on the lap. Okay.
He's not listening to me. Hello.
You just gotta relax a bit.
Hello. You just gotta open your ears. Are these open?
Yes, they are open. What's the hardest of having a newborn baby?
The hardest part?
I think the hardest part is just the physical.
The hardest part is just living. Like sleeping,
making
sure you're eating, making sure you're getting enough sleep, and then also like you don't know what to expect for the baby because every baby is so different. Their bodies are different. For Galahad, he had such a hard time what do you call burping and farting because his pipes, his tubes were so thin and narrow, so he had a hard time digesting, he had a hard time farting, and he had a hard time burping. So for babies, like a small amount of gas really causes a lot of pain because it's a large area for their tiny body.
Yes.
So every baby's different, so you don't know what to expect.
So
for Zeke, he had trouble feeding, so that was really
mainly physical difficulty. You're not sleeping much. You might be,
and then you don't know what to expect for the specific.
There might
baby.
be health complications.
Yeah.
So it's mainly a physical drainingness.
In the beginning.
I think that's the main difficulty. Sela, I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly, asks, how expensive is it living in Toronto? I really want to move there, even just for a couple of months. It's pretty expensive. I think this year, experts suggest, they said that rent is going to go up like 10% for renters.
Yeah.
And let's say for a 3-bedroom apartment.
I think housing is expensive. But I feel like it's kind of similar to living anywhere, no? I guess it depends everywhere. How far you live from downtown.
Yes, where we're paying around 1,500 for 3-bedroom. Our space is small though; it's only like 950 square foot.
Yeah.
But if we were closer to
the Toronto city, area,
you can expect like
we don't live in the suburbs, but we live in the outskirts of the city. But
we live right outside the city, like right on the street,
the border.
If we cross the road, then
that's Toronto.
Yeah.
But the suburbs are cheaper, and then if you move into the city, you could be paying like 2,500 for a 3-bedroom.
Yes, for sure.
And if you get a condo or like downtown, you could even be paying like 4,000.
Yeah,
every month,
and that doesn't include like utilities,
a place to live,
and parking if you're driving around.
But I feel like it's kind of similar everywhere too.
It's going
depends.
up. Everywhere
it is. Everywhere is going up.
Yeah. Let's see.
I like when Michael chooses the question.
Brandy asks, do you have any advice on how to transition a 1-year-old to eat solids other than puree baby food?
Finger foods.
Yeah.
Finger foods. Like, just let them get messy. And, for example, foods that are soft, but that are retained shape enough that they can pick it up and eat it. For example, sweet potato. You can boil sweet potato and they... Your little laugh. And then just place it in front of them on a tray, and then they can like pick it up and eat it themselves. I feel like that really helps get them used to chewing as well, because they're putting it in their mouths. But
yes.
yeah, it's kind of hard because Galahad had a hard time transitioning too. He was so used to pureed that when I gave him solid food, he would like choke on it because he would just immediately try to swallow it.
Yes. Hi, Charles. Good to see you.
Hi, Charles. Hi,
Thank
Minnie.
you for your support. I like this question.
Thanks, Minnie.
Hey, if I will. Hey, Mike, what's your opinion on Nami's new hair?
Oh yeah, because
so we filmed part,
his reaction,
but it didn't like.
It only recorded 1 second of it, not even 3 seconds. It was like,
and so
the clip is like me turning it on, and then I'm like, oh, and then and then it just cuts off.
For me, I've seen this twice before. I like it. It makes you look older. I think you age. You age like
the first time you saw it, it was a pixie though, like it wasn't not even this. It was like literally like.
I kind of like this more because
like
she looks more mature.
I look like an ajumma.
kind of more intimidating in a way. But I think it can go a bit shorter. I would like to see it like 4 centimeters.
He wants me to cut it like a bowl cut.
Yeah, bowl cut. But I like to see that. Let's give it a shot. It's gonna be easier for you too because hair is not getting in your way when you're breastfeeding. It dries faster. It's hot in the summer. I could just do
this if I need it out of the way.
But you don't even have to do that. You just save 20 seconds.
But then I'm gonna have a bowl cut.
And then you don't even have to like blow dry your hair anymore. I think
he's just always thinking about the practicality.
He
wants you bald.
Just cut it, and then you have to zero maintenance. You know what I'm saying?
He wants you bald.
So we should just all shave our hair and just go easy. Save an hour a day.
That's funny. I have curly hair.
Mike, you should get an appointment at Nami's Snatchet Salon. You know what?
We were planning some stuff.
What I really want to do is just get like 50 volume developer, whatever you call it.
Michasa.
Yeah, I really wanted to bleach my own hair. It's just I don't think we had time to really do it.
Bald Nami.
So what do you recommend? Cindy asks, Nami.
The bald Park family.
What do you recommend for sun damaged hair?
Sun damaged hair. I would recommend for like the same thing for any damaged hair, like whether it's heat damage from heat tools or sun damaged or chemically damaged hair, like just a lot of moisturization, avoiding drying ingredients like sulfates or parabens or silicones or like products with those ingredients will dry out your hair, and making sure that you also do like masks that put in nutrition as well. I think that's like the main thing. Just like good hair care,
right?
For those things, and I think that applies to skin too. Like if you have skin that is trouble skin, people think, oh, I have oily skin, so I need to avoid like over moisturizing. I need to dry out my face. But if you dry out your face will overcompensate and produce even more oil. So that's actually not effective.
Right.
Yeah.
So Gacha Ali asks, how's city life from Oshawa? We both like kind of midtown, uptown kind of life. From
Oshawa. Are you gonna come to our meet and greet? Actually, Michael's not gonna be there, but it's gonna be
in Oshawa. There's a park
named Galahad Park.
Named Galahad Park. We're gonna go there someday and say, hey, Galahad. His last name is Park, right? So Galahad's name is Galahad Park.
But then hey, the Galahad, park's name is Galahad.
This place is Galahad Park, and you're Galahad Park. I just think it's a really kind of crazy joke. I would be willing to drive the hour just to go there to do that.
But I like city life. Actually, I don't like downtown city life. I like the uptown city life. I'm like we're both kind of like an uptown. We're not really suburban people. We're kind of like an uptown city people.
Yes. Julia asks, do you get a year off from working after birth? Yes,
in
policy just changed. I think even it's up to 16 months.
Wow, really?
It's a little, or
That's
18 months. It's a little over a year. But you have the option to choose.
The countries that prioritize... Sorry, keep going.
You have the option to choose the 12-month
or
16 months, I think.
I feel like, yeah.
But people are always kind of nunchiba. Nunchiba in Korean means like they're kind of
you're like looking
at you,
yeah.
like the side eye or something. Like, oh, are you gonna do the 16-month and be selfish, or are you gonna
so
do the
stupid.
12-month and be diligent?
I feel like the countries that really prioritize families and family care and family life, like they're the countries that are the happiest with the highest rates of happiness.
They are.
Yeah, like the Netherlands.
Statistically,
and,
yep.
What was that city? Denmark is the happiest city because
that was one of the reasons.
They allow like 2 to 3 years.
2 years.
2 or 3 years of maternity leave or parental leave.
For both
parents.
Yeah.
That's like incredible. Like and it's paid. Like this is
yeah.
I don't know why the camera keeps moving, eh?
Camera keeps moving. I'm not touching the table.
Yeah, I'm not. Actually, I kind of touched it.
Okay. Well, I kind of lost where we were. Sorry if I missed some of your questions. I apologize.
You should highlight them, like drag them.
Are there any YouTubers who are watching right now? So, yes, we're always watching. I think if you're interested in creating your own channel, you should always invest a good portion of your time in watching other channels because you learn from them, you're inspired, and inspiring. You have to know the environment in which you're kind of working in. So, who I'm watching right now, I'm watching, I just discovered Jubilee. They
have good stuff for like the last few years.
And who else am I watching? Besides watching a lot of the Raptors highlights, I did that for a good month. Because we don't have a TV. I don't actually watch the game. I just listen to it
on
and
the radio.
I watch the highlights after.
But I heard there's like free streaming.
Free streaming? I don't even know how to do that.
Yeah, anyways. He's technologically challenged though.
I don't know. Who am I watching right now? I'm kind of watching... Who am I subscribed to? I'm kind of watching a lot of people who do cinematography.
Yeah,
and
like video editing.
And then YouTube marketing. Just learning a lot.
If you go on Michael's Instagram, Mike and Nami Plus, you can see that he's following like 3 people only. It's... One of the accounts is mine. One of the accounts is our very close friends. And then the other account is like this... How old is he? 17?
Oh yeah, and Andrew James.
Is he 17? But he's very talented with like photo and video editing. So Michael really looks up to him. So he really likes his tutorials too.
And I typically, the reason why...
Canadian Nami.
Yeah. I don't follow many people only because I'm just trying to save time. I even deactivated my Facebook. There's finally the option where you can delete your account.
You permanently deleted it.
Delete. I'm so glad now because I hate the fact that if you accidentally log in, all of a sudden you're back into Facebook. But I permanently deleted it. Thank you, Facebook. So Michael, Cindy asked, Michael, what books do you read? You're so wise. I want to be wise too. Well, thank you. I think wisdom comes... it's not just from age, it's from experience. It takes time, and it's a long-term game. It's take it a year at a time, really. I've been reading a lot of books. For example, Nam and I, last month, we met with a guy named Brian Stiller. He's the global ambassador for the World Evangelical Association, representing over like 700 million people. But he wrote like dozens of books. And so before meeting him, I had to read as many of his books as possible. So I read 4 books in 4 days, so that when I meet him, I can say, "Hey, I read your books," and so I can
talk. And it gives you something to talk about too. And it also allows for a way to get to know him as well, because whatever people create, it's like part of who they are.
Exactly. And if you really admire or look up to someone...
Where can I find my Michael?
if you really look up to and admire someone and they've written a book or something, then spending 2, 3, 4 hours reading that book is as if you're spending 2, 3, 4 hours
with the person,
listening and conversing with the person.
I think that also applies to video too. Like you spending time watching our videos is like watching a 10-minute video with us is like this, very similar to sitting with us for like 10 minutes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Naira, thank you for your
thank
donations.
you,
Wolfie. Would you get any tattoos or piercings?
Michael actually in high school, he wanted an eyebrow piercing.
Yeah, I wanted a like eyebrow piercing right there.
Like a bell. What's it called?
A barbell or something? I don't know. I don't know what it's called, but it's kind of like a bar.
I think it's a barbell.
Why did I not do it? I think I was just too lazy. I think it cost too much.
And it's a pain.
And I hate maintenance. I just hate maintenance.
But I'm kind of glad you didn't do it. Because in Korean culture, if you have a piercing on your face, that's different than your earrings. And
you can just take it off.
Okay, honestly though, you can just take it off, but you'll have holes. And honestly, if you got that piercing and our life continued the way that it did, people, I think they wouldn't look at you the same way.
Right.
In the Korean community.
Right.
With the situation that we were in terms of like having the kids earlier, getting married early and stuff, they'd be like, and then also I look like this, so it's like
I don't think I would at the moment. Just the main reason is because I don't just see a need to, I guess. I would save the money not getting any piercings or tattoos.
I think
it's more of a I haven't really thought of it. Not really interested in it, but I don't mind. I guess I don't really care much about it.
When I was in high school, this is kind of weird and like occult, but when I was in high school, I was doing like research on witchcraft and stuff, and tattoos were like kind of part of their tradition. So since high school, I kind of felt like a discomfort with the idea of getting a tattoo for myself, especially because I also had a big fear of needles just in general. So yeah, it's kind of weird, but
do you still have those feelings?
No, I don't think I have those feelings anymore.
Yeah.
And like I actually considered shortly after having Galahad, I actually kind of wanted to get a white tattoo because I thought they were so pretty. But I never did it. I even was emailing for a consultation to like tattoo shops, but I never did it because I don't think
And your second question: will Dad ever dye his hair? Nami with
we were planning to try to do his hair red.
Maybe down the road. I'm open to it.
And see if it shows up on his black hair.
I'm open to it, but I think in the future, maybe a year from now or two, partly because I don't know what color I would do anyways.
I wanted to try the red colored conditioner on you because it was really vibrant on my hair and it lasted for so long, but I wanted to see how it would look like in the sunlight on black hair.
Olivia says to Leslie, just keep going. High school is so important. If you can finish that and then go to college or university, that's even better. The more education you have under your belt, the better. Yes, education is something that no one can really take away from you. And you do learn from it. And it's
the only
always
thing
good to
is
plan.
It's expensive.
It's always good to plan and talk to other people who are already working in the field you're interested in pursuing. And that's important. Just reach out, kind of bump heads with people, get to know what they're doing, understand, and keep pursuing. I think that's good. Let's see. Going through your questions. Good night, Chanel.
Any tips on oily roots and dry ends? Oil and powder. So dry shampoo on the roots and oil on the ends. Just like reverse it that way, and then slowly extend. If your roots get oily a lot, slowly extend the amount of time between shampoos, like 1 day at a time. And also avoid using like drying ingredients, products with drying ingredients, like I mentioned before, like sulfates, parabens, silicones, and things like that dry out your hair. Because if your ends are dry, that means your roots are dry too, but your scalp is overcompensating by producing more oil. My hair doesn't get that oily anymore as much as it did before. But that's because I dramatically increased the hydration and reduce the drying products on my hair.
Do you guys watch Jolly Korean English?
Oh my gosh, so I recently stumbled upon their channel, or their channels. I don't really watch. It hurts.
Oh, sorry.
This whole time Michael's been like touching my knee. Yeah, he's like kind of fiddling with my knee. But I have this like one spot that is like broken skin.
Oops.
So it's like sensitive.
Sorry about that.
Wait, maybe it's the wrong side. No, it was this side. Sorry.
I like to like fiddle with.
It's okay. You can continue. He's just like poking my knees. I showed Michael one of their videos. Did we watched it together, right? They're so
Maybe.
funny.
Jolly Englishman. Oh, the phone calls.
Yeah, the phone calls.
They're
And then
good at
they're
Korean.
really good at
Better
Korean.
than me. That's amazing.
So I don't really watch their videos regularly, but I think I watched like over 10 videos of theirs in the last month because they're really funny. I like them.
Julius Smith asks a pretty tough question. Nami and Michael, I need some advice. I like my friend's ex-boyfriend. They only dated for a month. I really don't want to like him, but I do. What should I do?
I don't think there's a problem if there's no malicious intent. And also, like, maybe developing your friendship with your friend would help buffer any hurt or misunderstandings that might come from your liking of him. In terms of spending time with him, I think just getting to spend time and getting to know each other as people is like number one over anything. Because as you get to know someone, your feelings either grow or they diminish. So I wouldn't do anything like rash before then. Take it a day at a time, develop your friendship with your friend, and be open, be honest, and keep an open communication with her so she doesn't get hurt from or she doesn't misunderstand she liked him the whole time and she's trying to steal him from him, and now I don't want to be friends with her anymore. Some people, they think that way because they're misunderstanding. So just keep an open dialogue with your friend. I think from my personal previous experiences with misunderstandings, and with the guy, I think getting to know him as a person will really help a lot with whether it will progress or whether
Right. I think clarity is very important. It never hurts to have clarity when you're dialoguing or talking with your friend. This is a complex situation where there's so many factors that you can't really articulate it in 3 lines that you have here in this question. Partly you learn through your experience and you discern. It's great that you're asking. I think it's also good if you have other people you trust, who you look up to, or so you can also bring this question up to. And if it is something that is really pressing on you, then expand the circle of those who you want to receive counsel from, and then take the best course of action that you think works out.
How did you get over your fear of needles?
So keep learning. Even great dating relationships or people that you like might not end up someone who you want to pursue or continue on from. It's just well, thanks for your question. It's a good question. And
Hold on, I wanna. Okay, so fear of needles, and then what are they doing on the table? So right now I'm holding Michael's hand because he keeps touching the table, and I don't want you to get dizzy from the camera shaking, because he talks his hands. He uses his hands a lot to talk. For some reason, I think because the phone is leaning against the laptop screen, and the laptop screen jiggles every time the table moves. So I'm trying to prevent his hand from touching the table, and I'm trying also not to shake the camera by touching the table as well. How I got over my fear of needles, do you remember?
You just got, I don't know. No, I don't.
What? You don't? Well, they poked me so much while I was giving birth to Galahad that every needle after that wasn't a big deal anymore.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when I had my emergency C-section, first of all, I was induced when I was giving birth to Galahad because my water broke, but I had no contractions. So they were giving me a hormone to make fake contractions so that I can give birth to Galahad. But the first needle that I got was the IV in my vein, in my arm. And that was so scary. Even just IV or even just blood tests, so scary.
Yes.
And then I was like, okay, I'll just have this one needle and then try to give birth. So the birth did not progress, and we had to do an emergency. No. The contractions got worse and worse. So then I was like, I think I need the epidural, because I didn't want to do the epidural because it's another needle. So then I was like, I don't want to do the epidural, but then I think I need the epidural because these contractions are I'm like literally like blanking, like not fainting, but like it's so much pain that literally you see just black in front of you for like a minute, and you can't concentrate on anything. It's just so painful, the contractions. So I was like, give me the epidural. Like, I don't even care if it's a needle. Just poke my back with it so that these contractions, like, I don't feel it.
Yeah.
So then they gave me that epidural, but then we had to do an emergency C-section. So I'm trying to talk fast, sorry. So then in the emergency C-section, they actually also do local anesthesia. So even though I have the epidural in my back, which is the painkiller that runs through your spine, they also do local pain killing with freezing needles on your belly. So they poked me like 4 more times.
That's a lot of needles.
With needles.
That's a lot of needles.
For the anesthesia. So I think after that, I was like, you know, they poked me so many times that...
Needles are not too bad.
Needle, like, nothing will ever be worse than that.
Right.
I think
a pinch is worse. A pinch is
that's
worse.
how I got over it, I think.
Yes.
I'm still kind of, I don't like needles.
Yeah.
But I'm not as, like, fearful of them anymore.
Congratulations, Natoya, graduating high school.
Wow.
You want to become a nurse, and you're scared of the classes. It is a lot of work.
Bye, Kaylee.
I mean, depending on where you live, to become a registered nurse might require a 4-year program.
Yeah,
and
Olivia responded to her too. Maybe volunteer at a hospital.
Right. Okay,
yeah,
that is a great
it's free
suggestion.
and it will help a lot. It'll help the community and it'll give you experience.
It is huge.
Yeah, and you work alongside like professionals.
You get to learn a lot. Yep.
Yeah.
My younger sister, I think volunteered at a hospital.
Yeah,
or was at a clinic.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Well, we got a lot of questions rolling through. Okay, so...
Sorry, it was because of my
what advice do you have for someone non-Korean meeting my Korean boyfriend's
parents? Ooh. I would say culture is so important to Korean parents, but it depends. It really depends on their personality. They could be the type that really, really care about the Korean etiquette and a Korean culture and Korean respect. Or they could be the type that don't care at all and they just live freely, like your parents. Your parents are just like, haha. And then my parents are also just kind of like, haha. But then there are some parents who are like, oh, that was so rude, blah, blah, blah. And they kind of like really value the culture. So I would say it's not bad to play it safe, to do a lot of research on how people normally approach situations or conversations and what kind of things are good to ask or do or say just to maintain that respect.
Yes.
But also, I think they should be understanding if they know that you don't have like an immersed background in Korean culture knowledge. So,
I think a great example. I really appreciate the work that Maisley or Love Withstanding or
on YouTube,
who is Lily Petal's World, like these kind of mixed,
or who is it?
These other
who is it? Slice and Rice.
Slice and Rice. It's great to see the content that putting up forth because they're really honest with their interactions, especially Love Withstanding. I think that's really the best thing for their YouTube channel. Yeah, their parents, the Korean parents, are not as receptive, but it's very different depending on, I guess, the parents, depending on
it depends on
their
the
mindset.
Parents too.
And we have friends that we know that also have gone through the same thing where it's the first meetup. It's I think it's something worth meeting. I think for Korean parents, typically meeting the parents means this relationship is very serious and it's leading towards marriage. So that's typical. Every parent is different though, but from my experience, is this? Am I talking to? Oh, I'm touching the table. From my experience,
I don't want them to get dizzy.
If you're being introduced, then that kind of is equivalent to this is going to lead to marriage. It's like a courtship. So I would say just do it, see how it goes. Oh, actually, no, I can't really give advice. I think I can say it's tricky.
I think the best thing also is just to stay in communication with your boyfriend. And like ask about his parents, ask about his childhood, ask how it was like growing up for him, just to get an understanding of his parents as well. And Really like also just being yourself is also important, but like a respectful, good version of yourself. Yeah, as much as possible.
Right.
Yeah, because in the end, like, as long as they like love him and respect you and appreciate you, like, I think that's all that matters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's another one of those complex situations where you don't really know what to expect. But Ria asks 2 questions. Do you guys have any tips on time management? I'm always loaded with homework and I feel like it takes really long to finish. I'll share 2 quick principles, I guess. Something that my mentor taught me
My
is that...
stomach is so big.
You okay?
Just keep going.
Something that my mentor taught me was that successful people know how to organize their lives in 15-minute increments of the day. So I wish I can show you my screen and I can pull out one of my Excel documents to you. But pretty much what I did was I had an Excel document from 6 a.m. all the way to 11 p.m. split up in 15-minute increments, and I would map out how every single week would look like. And if you live that lifestyle for about half a year, you begin to not need the Excel document anymore, but you begin to change your... My hand, right? You begin to change your lifestyle and your pattern to become very efficient. Another huge thing is eliminating the good from the good in your life. There's many...
Oh yeah, sorry.
There are many good and productive things that you can do in your day, but you have to focus your life. A focused life is more efficient, and don't spread yourself too thin. Everybody has the same amount of time in the day, right? It's really the way to manage it. If you want to eliminate distraction, things that distract you or diminish you, or lead you away, things that kind of turn you away from the goals that you have that need to get done. Kyrie Hernandez asks, "Hey Nami and Michael, I was wondering if Michael would ever join you in your dancing journey. Also, have you ever considered putting Ziek or Galahad in dancing or the clubs?" Galahad is in dancing. We have a few vlogs of him dancing.
Yep, he's been in the program for 2 years.
And he wants to do it again for the next year. Ziek, I'm not so sure because Ziek is more...
No, he was in 2 years. He had 2 Christmas parties and 2 spotlights.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he's gonna enter the third.
Ziek is not as artsy, but he's very sporty.
Yes.
He's very talented with his body and just fitness. Yes. And like control of his body. When he started to walk, he was already running like this. And when Galahad started to walk, he would just walk like this. And when Ziek started kicking balls, he would always like kick with good form.
Yeah.
But when Galahad kicked balls, he would kick the ball and fall over. So
yeah, I remember that.
Ziek is very, very, very good with just like athletic ability.
Right.
I think just biologically.
Yes.
Michael has that too as well, but Michael also has
I can't dance for my life.
Michael has a very athletic body intuition, body talent. You're very good with hand-eye coordination. You're very good with spatial ability. Like, he knows where everything is. I always drop things. I'm very clumsy and I always hurt myself. But Michael is able to control his body well, except his eating. He's not able to control his eating as well. So that's disabling him from his athletic abilities.
Right.
But I think you guys have an innate like talent for being able to move your body in a good, like, in a way that you can like do sports. So Ziek, we want to put in some programs for any kind of sports, for sure. Yeah, and but Michael, he can't do arts.
Yes.
And Ziek looks funny when he dances. Galahad will actually choreograph his freestyle.
Yes.
But then Ziek, he just goes. And then that's his dance. That's how I dance.
Yeah. Nabiha Khan.
If you see Michael's dancing.
Oh no, not even for $1 million. Nabiha Khan says, "Nami and Michael, what do you think is the best thing to do when finally seeing someone after a year? I'm very confused and don't know what's best. Love you guys." Well, thank you for your question.
I guess it depends on your relationship with the person and what you expect from meeting with them. If you're just meeting to like catch up, I think I think there's always a level of nervousness that comes up, like, oh, what are they doing now? How will they think about how I'm doing now? Like, how will they think about how I've changed over the last year or have not changed over the last year?
Yes.
I think mostly, like, even though there's that those thoughts or those feelings that could be there, I think the main thing is just to, like, just to meet them and get to know them where they are now, and have them get to know you where you are at that time.
I think it's always good to discuss goals and direction of a relationship.
Yeah.
And where you see the relationship
this
going.
could be just like a
with
acquaintance.
Anybody.
Yeah,
it could be
with
anyone. Yeah, with anyone. That could be a good conversation.
Yeah.
Yes. Your favorite.
Good night, Charles. Your favorite.
Good night, Charles. Where was I? So thinking about favorite movie. Oh, okay. So favorite movie. I like my two favorite movies are The Imitation Game.
Paula's after.
Imitation Game and The Passion of the Christ. Paula asks, I'm in a vicious cycle.
Wait, my favorite movies.
Your favorite movies?
The Girl Who Left Through Time and Assassin. But I didn't like the end of Assassin. It's a Korean movie.
A Korean movie, yes.
But the ending, I felt like it was kind of bad.
Mm-hmm. I'm in a vicious circle regarding praying. I feel like I've been growing distant of God, and I haven't been feeling deeply touched praying. At the same time, I know I need to be closer, but I can't.
So for me, in my personal experience, I also have the same issue, because sometimes often when I pray, I feel very like disconnected. I'm just saying words. But then, like, I think what really helped me is recognizing that our relationship with God is a relationship. It's not like a fanship. We don't just like send messages like, oh, I love you, oh, thank you, like, yes. Oh, this has helped me. Like, we don't just send messages to God. We actually have a relationship with him if we want to develop a relationship with him. So there has to be a two-way thing, and I feel like reading the Bible for me personally has helped me a lot in really connecting with my prayer as well. Just because it provides a space for God's word to speak to me too.
Yes.
Because like people think, oh, you should pray every day. You should pray, like, you know, at church they say, oh, you should pray at least 15 minutes a day. Like, I feel like that's kind of useless if you don't have a relationship. Like, if you're not building a relationship. Even like if they say, oh, you should read 15 minutes of Bible every day. I feel like that's also useless if you're disregarding the also like the praying part. So if reading the word is breathing in, then prayer is exhaling. If reading the word is like receiving and hearing out someone else, then prayer is like speaking back to them. So like there has to be that kind of relationship, and you need both. So I feel like that helped me a lot. Just recognizing that like it's a two-way kind of thing, not just. And
the relationship is tough sometimes, because there are moments in our lives when we have very funding moments where we're red hot, where we experience and know God's presence. And then there are long lapses when we feel like
dry.
God is the silent savior, where you're not getting any answers, or where you don't really experience the presence of God. And from what I see and read and hear, God really allows that. It mysteriously works through those moments, also to grow you. But I think oftentimes it really pushes you to the edge of just doubt, really. Sometimes doubt in your faith, or even anger against God. I will say that God always meets you at the end. His grace extends, and you grow through these really tough and trying times.
Yeah.
It's totally okay to be feeling this, and I think God will bless you with wisdom. I was
also feeling like really distant the last like since February, with my relationship with God personally, and this week actually I've been feeling like he's really been calling me back to him. And it's so funny, like, I haven't read the Bible, or like, I haven't read my regular scripture reading since February. But then the moment that I start, because it was really dry and boring, that's the reason why I kind of stopped reading, because I'm reading Jeremiah, but it's like so boring. But the moment that like I pick it up, the first paragraph is like talking about like redemption and like God's promises redeeming us from turning away from him. And I was like, oh my gosh, like this is like me. This is talking about me.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's really advice that we can give, but we can encourage as brothers and sisters in Christ. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes God wants you to be in those places.
Yeah.
In the desert.
Because they also form us.
In the desert
Yeah.
place. Yes.
What's the name for the baby? Currently, the public name for the baby is Baby 3. That's kind of what has resulted the last few months.
Sorry, there's so many questions. I know there's so many great questions. I'm going to kind of go ahead here. I'm so scared of looking like a Koreaboo and Weeaboo that I don't even look like any Asians in the eye. What can I do to help?
I think making friends helps. If you're scared to look like a Koreaboo or a Weeaboo, making friends with people of that culture really helps grow your perspective and your understanding of that culture. If you're scared to seem like a Koreaboo or a Weeaboo and people think you just like Asians because of those pop cultural things in the culture that are only popular, I think getting to know these people from the same culture on a personal level and knowing them as people really helps open up like any feelings that and any insecurities that you might feel like you may not know the full culture as a whole as well. I mean, we can never know a culture as a whole, but like more different aspects of culture.
Yes.
So something that helped me with my Korean language is a site called mylanguageexchange.com. I use that site like a lot for like a year or two, just talking to like new friends in Korean and Japanese and stuff, and getting to know them as well. And like it would be like I speak English and they speak that language, so we exchange learning each other's language and helping each other. So I feel like those kind of opportunities also help because they also want to develop a relationship where they can grow and learn as a person too, in terms of like speaking English or whatever. So yeah, just seeking out more opportunities and putting yourself out there, I think, are always good steps moving forward.
Natalie asks, "Hi Nami and
Oh,
Mike.
my stomach.
What is your opinion about fear, and how do you deal with it? What is a big
Oh my
struggle
gosh.
for you? I fear."
That's hard.
I guess for some of us, it could actually be like physiological,
Right.
depending on what kind of fear it is. Well,
I think fear always comes from an experience.
An experience.
For example, my fear of insects, I used to have a really bad fear of insects where if there's a fruit fly flying near my face, I would scream on the top of my lungs and like run to the halfway across the room. You remember that, right? I was like that. Do you remember me like that? You remember me like that?
You would scream. You would like literally.
I would literally scream at the top because
really loud.
I actually had a phobia, and people would think I'm crazy, and they'd be like, "Oh my gosh, stop overreacting." But the thing about overreacting is when you're overreacting, you're actually reacting over the top of what you normally would, like you're faking it. But my reaction was not an overreaction because that's exactly how I felt inside of me, is me screaming at the top of my lungs.
Yes.
With this fruit fly like flying near my face. So for me, my fear of insects, I learned later, was due to a trauma of watching larvae hatch in my house that my mom brought home because she caught insects for me, and then she brought them into the home because she thought it would be fun for me to see these insects. But instead, these larvae hatched and they looked like little gross worms, and I think I was traumatized from that. So from that moment on, I was actually really, really scared of bugs. Hi, Leslie. And I got over my fear of bugs because I adopted a cat, and my cat would catch all the insects in our house and all the spiders and flies, and she would eat them.
Yes.
So I was like, yes, get them, kitty. So I feel like fears like that, they always come with trauma. And
Yes.
I think overcoming fears always comes with new experiences that overwrite that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for example, my fear of needles, like my experience with like 7 needles in 24 hours.
Yes.
That and they were like big needles. Do you remember the epidurals like this big or something?
Yeah.
Like those new experiences, they always kind of overwrite it. And then with my cat and stuff,
Yes.
with the insects. But what do you think?
Well, I guess to be quick,
No.
fear. Well, as I said earlier, it could be physiological, where you might need to see your family doctor,
My stomach.
or
Right.
I think you answered it pretty well. Like, I had a fear for a long time against like just demons or demonic imagery.
He used to get sleep paralysis like almost every night.
And just
For how long? For like 2 years? 3 years?
no longer than that.
Oh my gosh.
But
How long?
I don't want to say too much because I don't want to
Trigger anyone?
Yeah. But I would
But how
see
long?
pretty disturbing for years. I would see. I don't know.
Oh.
But I would see pretty disturbing images in my dreams.
Yeah, they're
and
scary.
so-
Maybe we'll do like a video
Yeah.
just talking about
Yeah.
it so that it's in a contained context
Mhm.
where people can choose whether to watch it or
Yes,
not, because
yes.
then we don't want to just talk about it and like
Yes.
unknowingly trigger people.
Do we have any podcast suggestions? There's so many different niches for
Yeah.
podcasts, really. I'd say just do what you enjoy.
Search
and
what you
what
enjoy,
interests
yeah.
you. Because there's always an audience for kind of everything. It's quite diverse
Hi,
out
Tila.
there. What time are we gonna sleep? It's 12 now. We should sleep
We've been
soon.
streaming for
Maybe
an
we'll
hour
take
and
3
7
more.
minutes.
Maybe we'll take 3 or 4 more questions. Actually, because Leslie joined us, maybe we'll take a bit more than 3 just now.
There's already a bug topic. I hate bugs. I don't say. Sorry.
Let's see. How do you deal with racism in school? I'm Chinese, and when I'm walking around
Oh
school,
my gosh.
people will pull their eyes out to look Asian. I don't want them to mock me because of my ethnicity. Yeah, I experienced it directly. When I first moved to Canada, my sister and
You guys were the only
lived downtown
Asians in the school.
along the Danforth, which is a really kind of popular street, community area. And we were like the only Koreans, actually. There were some Chinese, but I saw racism all the time, almost every day. Even my parents had a convenience store.
It's funny because people who also were racist, they're like, go back to your country, but then they're speaking in their heavy European languages too.
Well, I experienced other kids like pulling their eyes, like you were saying, against my father and swearing and putting up the middle finger against.
And they
my
would
father.
like steal. Oh my gosh!
And so they would always steal. Yeah.
Look at the screen.
And again, though, it's a reality. It's a reality.
Look at the screen.
Yes. Sorry. It's a reality that every country, in a sense, is racist. Like if you go anywhere, people are just racist. That's kind of just what it
whenever
is.
there's pride, there's racism. When they're proud of their own, like, I think it comes from somewhere with like good, like national pride is good, but then it turns twisted and turns into discrimination and racism.
Yes, and it does hurt, like to see my father being sworn at,
being
and being stolen from because of that.
Yeah,
it's
being scammed.
I find that from my experience, it's good. It's important to stand firm. Like you're not gonna be pushed around and bullied.
Wasn't there a time when some kids were saying something to Galahad, and then you just like went and told them like, "Hey!"
Yeah,
don't you remember?
I think as a father too, sometimes some people if you see direct bullying against your own children, I just tell them, I don't
You
like,
confront them.
yeah, I just confront them like come over here. What are you guys doing? And
Dad
so I
mode.
just talk to them, and
Scary.
I always let them know that, like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
what you're doing
that
is
what
not
you're
wise.
doing, you know,
Yeah.
it's not a good
Yes.
thing.
But I know it hurts, and you learn from it. You grow. You grow
honestly,
from it.
if I was in your shoes and that was happening in my school, honestly, I would just stare them down.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because they know they can't be ignorant about it.
Mm-hmm.
They know what they're doing. If you just stare them down, they start to become intimidated because
Yeah, and sometimes you discipline
like
them once
people
they don't do it again.
people do it because they can, because they
Yes.
feel like they have an opportunity and they have
Yeah.
an anonymity.
Yeah.
They have an ability to do it without consequence.
Yes.
If you stare them down, like they feel like they wouldn't be able to get away
Right.
with it as much anymore.
So my view
That's
to
why Michael
it is,
says, "Hey."
my view to it is we're all one race. I don't like. I know some people have issue with that. Like we're kind of like
Well, in the future
depoliticizing.
we're gonna turn one race anyway. Everyone
So,
will become beige.
We're just different. I mean,
It's true.
yeah, we're all humanity, right?
Watch, in like 300 years, we're all gonna be beige.
Jenny is getting braces. What color should
Hey,
I
where are
change
you
it to?
from? My hair from.
Yeah.
Oh, braces. What color?
So many places. You can change your color every month, depending on what you're doing. If
Right.
you're doing metal bracket braces, you can probably change your color every month. If you're doing like Invisalign or even the clear, I don't really know, but for Invisalign, you can't really change it at all. But because it's clear.
My stomach. Then she wouldn't be asking about
Sorry.
colors.
Yeah, I guess. So you can, I don't know. I did bright pink, like hot pink and
Yeah.
purple and blue, and I did everything really. If you
Black
do white,
bands
it
make
kind
your
of
teeth look
turns.
whiter.
If you do white, it kind of goes yellow after some time. But
Lavender is pretty. Yeah.
yeah, hot pink really sticks out.
Sticks
Do you know Carrie Cakes? No, I don't.
I know Carrie Cakes. I haven't watched her videos in a really long time. I met her. She's the ginger, redhead. Is it okay to say that? Michael was saying last time because Michael's sister's boyfriend is ginger.
Yeah.
And then we were just talking about him, and then Michael was like, "Is it politically incorrect to say ginger? Is it offensive to say redhead or ginger? I don't think so, because gingers refer to themselves as ginger, and then they also say I'm a redhead, like I have red hair.
Right, right.
But then I met her in Korea. Remember?
Oh, that's so cool.
That's Carrie Cakes. Remember?
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's her.
How do you know Carrie Cakes?
She makes really good videos about Korea and.
Oh, hey,
life in Korea and
Misan.
stuff.
Hi, good to see you here.
Hi.
Yeah, we just met Misan
On Thursday.
on Thursday. Yeah, we live like 60 kilometers away from each other. But it was great seeing you. Thanks for coming.
She was
out.
here in she's still here in Toronto for a few more days, and then she leaves on Tuesday.
Yes.
Her flight is on Tuesday, so she's
Back to
going
the
back to
States.
the States.
Yes.
New Jersey.
So,
Oh,
wow.
I love you too, Isa. My stomach hurts.
Let's keep going down here. Thanks so much for answering.
I had friends that would tell me
know.
being called ginger is rude and not nice. Redhead is slightly better. That's good to know.
Oh,
I should ask
okay.
more people. Maybe on Instagram I'll ask, like, what is it?
Oh, I didn't know, Leslie, you're mixed. That's so cool.
Oh,
You speak Spanish and English. Wow.
because you look Asian. You look Asian because you're Spanish and European mixed. That's so funny. Wait, that's such a weird combo to end up.
Will you please live stream the birth?
Oh my gosh, we're not. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we can do it. We're gonna have a private room, and I actually asked the doctor, like, oh, can we take video like during the operation? They said no, we can take photos, but we can't take videos. So, I know some
we're
people.
gonna have a vlog birth,
Mm-hmm.
but maybe like we can live stream right after the baby's born,
Yes.
and then we can upload the vlog.
Could you do a
after.
Q&A while in labor? We're doing a C-section surgery, so I don't think Nami's gonna go through.
I'm not gonna be in labor at all.
Yeah, it's just gonna be the surgery.
They're just gonna
Right away.
cut her out.
Yes. but that would be weird to do a Q&A. Ask us Q&A. So how does it feel? You're
Don't talk to me!
Are you in pain? That would be an experience. Wow.
Oh my god. I'd be like, okay, the construction's coming. Just give us a minute.
Yes. Sarah asked, would you have a cat or a dog after baby 3? I think before we can consider that, we would need a bigger space.
Yeah.
I would rather have a dog.
I think so too for the kids.
Yes. How to
I like
read
cats
more.
though. I'm a cat lady. But I think I would rather get a dog for the kids.
Yes. How to read more. I love this question. Hold on. I'm just gonna be right back.
My stomach hurts. I have to go washroom. I'll be right back.
Okay. So how to read more. That's a big tummy. I can feel her here.
She's kicking me. Talk to her.
This is 8.5 months.
Wait, don't tell her name though.
I was about to say her name. Whoa!
I knew it.
Yeah.
Every time I tell him, talk to her, then the first thing he says is her name.
Yeah. You know what?
Look, there's a foot here.
Right in the belly button, there's a foot. Yeah.
Okay, talk to her without saying her name. Hello, baby.
Hi, baby.
She can't hear you like that. She can't hear you like that. You have to speak loud.
Well,
You have to yell.
I don't want to.
Okay, bye.
Okay.
I'll go wash.
How long are you gonna be?
I just have to pee.
Okay. So to answer your question, how to read more, I'll share some of the things I'm reading right now. I just finished this book, Transgender, and I'm reading through this one, Same-Sex Relationships, God and the Transgender Debate, and speaking of homosexuality. I think what helps me is sometimes reading in spurts really helps, where sometimes you don't have the time to read, but you can always kind of block off 3 or 4 hours, get yourself in a new environment. Sometimes take a bus or drive somewhere which kind of inconveniences you to get to somewhere. Don't bring your phone, anything that distracts you. Just bring the book and sit there and just read through. I think a change in environment can help you spike that kind of discipline to read through. And you can even start with shorter books that you can finish in an hour or two. And when you finish the book, it makes you kind of feel better and go, hey, I just finished the book in in one sitting, and then you can keep reading more. Or you can teach. Whenever I teach a subject, I typically just had to read. Like, you learn more when you're teaching others. You actually teach yourself. And so, yes, many things you can do.
Nice.
And read things that excite you and that are short, maybe, because sometimes a long book can be very intimidating. It's like, oh, I don't want to read this one. Someone asked, what time is the meet on July 5th and 6th, Nami?
There's an RSVP.
There's an RSVP, Nami says.
Should I put the link somewhere?
I guess you can.
The link is... Oh, if you go to Yodias's Instagram, it's on her bio. So... You can go to my Instagram, Nami Cho, and then click the meetup page, like the post that I put, and then I have Yodias tagged there. You can click her Instagram page, and then there's a link. There's a link to the RSVP. It's from 5 to 7 though.
I'm rocking the Notre Fam shirt. Thank you, Leslie. Good night, Judith. Good night, Sila. Let's see. I'm Korean and African American, and people think I'm half Mexican. Are you both hoping to have a house, not an apartment house, in the future? Yes, we are. I think a house has its advantages, even though right now we're comfortable in the apartment because Nami's parents literally live like a 30-second walk halfway down the hall from our apartment, and right above us are our Nami sister's family. So even though our space is small, it's 3 bedroom, but only like 950 square feet. It's pretty small for like a family of 5, but because we're so close with family, it becomes it's nice. And living in an apartment, you don't have to worry about like raking the leaves, shoveling the snow, and a whole bunch of other things. So it's nice while we have it, but I think a house has many different advantages. Like a backyard and a front yard is huge. It's great for the kids.
And a dog.
Audiobooks are a great way to read books. That's correct. There's this app. I don't know what it was called.
Audible?
No, they take books and make it into 15-minute audibles. So they take like many different books, and I think someone
What?
reads it and scripts it, and it's just every book
How
out
do they
there
profit?
summarized down to 15 minutes. I think it might be by subscription basis or something, but usually, typically, if
But
you're
how do they
traveling,
profit if that's copyright?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Maybe
I have
they
no idea.
maybe they license the books.
Yes, audiobooks, great way to read books, especially if you're an auditory learner. For me, I'm not very good at auditory learning. For example, I watched like a 14 series Korean drama, 1 hour episode each, and I watched it to learn Korean. I only learned one word, and that was 질투, jealousy.
He said it wrong.
질투. You know, I even said it wrong. I didn't learn anything. I didn't learn anything. So I'm not an auditory learner. I have to read the books and dissect it, mark it up, mess it up, and then I gotta type all my notes out. It's just gotta process that way.
Ninochka asked, "What am I eating?"
I think so. I made this for her yesterday. It's half milk and half water.
Ice. Icicles.
And so I cannot learn from listening. That's why Nami gets really upset at me many times, because she says things like 5,
Are
6,
you even
7
Korean?
times, and I'm like,
Are you even Korean?
yeah. So that's an area, a point of
He learns
contention
well
for us.
from doing things.
Yes, I learned well from doing things. Am I even Korean? You know, when we were voting, so we were voting for like our political person a few years ago,
Political person.
and there was a Muslim girl. She was working at the booth, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
I think it was volunteering.
And she knew like 11 languages. I'm like, whoa.
And also, she's fluent in Korean.
Fluent in
just
Korean.
from watching dramas for 5 years.
Yeah, her Korean
And
was like
everyone,
professional.
like, okay, not everyone, but like, there's a lot of Korean people in our area, and they all went to that school where she was volunteering, and they would be shocked every time because she would just like speak to them
In Korean.
Especially the ajumas and the harmonies.
And it was like no accent. It was just like fluent.
Yeah. So then they're like,
American.
she's like, 주소 어디세요? And then she's basically saying like, where's your address? Like, 주소 어디세요? And then
And everyone's like shocked.
No. First they would be like, oh, it's right here. Wait. Because
Yes.
they understand it, and then they're like, oh, like my address is here. Did you
Yeah.
just
Speak in Korean.
Yeah. So even my
Yeah.
mom, she like answered her in Korean,
Yeah.
and then she realized like she was speaking
That
fluent
was
Korean.
amazing. I mean, she is an auditory learner. Amazing. Cats or dogs? Dogs.
Cats.
Let's see, where are we? I'm so backed up right now. Again, I apologize. I
Oh my
may
gosh,
be
there's so many questions.
I
Thank
may
you
be
so
skipping
much.
some of your great questions. I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry too.
Am I even Korean? I don't know.
We should take the DNA test
I need to learn Korean.
when you're bilingual and start losing some words from each.
Brooklyn asks, hello, I have a question for Nami.
Hi.
I always wondered, as being a Christ follower and being a fan of K-pop, what does BTS mean to you? How do you view BTS?
Okay,
in a
it's
Christian
really weird. This is
perspective?
how I explain it to my church onnies, like my older ladies at church that I am friends with and I also respect. They think it's funny that I love BTS so much, especially like they think I'm like cute and like I'm like, oh, BTS, and then they think it's like a cute thing because for them they're all like their mid-30s, mid to late 30s, and so one person asked like, oh, what's the difference with like BTS and like other K-pop, or like What makes you like them so much? And what's weird for me is like, I explained to her, like, I really like them, and they mean a lot to me because they remind me of Christ. Isn't that so weird? They remind me of Jesus.
I think. Yeah. Okay. Keep going.
Okay, so Michael has a different. BTS is my religion. Michael has a different opinion about this situation, but basically, like the way that they interact with their fans, and the way that they sacrificially love and unconditionally love their fans, and the way that they protect their fans, and the way that the fans just receive their love and also give their love because they are loved by BTS. Like
Right.
the way that ARMY are giving their love to BTS because of everything BTS has done for them in terms of inspiring them, encouraging them, helping them grow, and things like that. Like that reminds me of what I believe Christ does for me. And so when I was having a really hard time, like when we were having a really hard time in our marriage, and also when I was having a really hard time with my relationship with God, and I was like, I think it was like one of the furthest times that I was experiencing in my walk with God. That's when I found BTS, and I feel like that really, like you can look at it two ways. It could have been idolatry. It could have been like they were like a huge idol in my life, but at the same time, I feel like they were able to help me understand more why Christ means so much to me too. Like it's kind of like a parallel. They remind me of Christ, but they also remind me of, I don't know, it's kind of confusing. Oh no. We have 20% battery.
I think it's something that we will have to talk more about too, but I always
It's kind
say
of weird. I'm sorry.
I always say you can have symbols or people that remind you of God only insofar as it reminds you up to that point, but it can't be the object of worship.
Of worship. So I think for me, it became an object of worship, and then they also like. It also brought me back to Christ because it made me appreciate Christ more, because they reminded me of Christ. Then how much more is Christ sacrificially loving, unconditionally loving, always growing me, always encouraging me? You know what I mean?
Yes.
So in a way, it was kind of like a whiplash. Bam, bam.
Yes, but great question. I think
because often like people say like there's Illuminati symbols, or like there's like satanic symbols in pop culture and K-pop and blah blah blah. Like there's also that kind of aspect too. So I think we should be careful with what we consume in general, like not just as Christian, but like as people. Like we just want to make sure that we're not consuming anything that is further damaging to ourselves. But at the same time, it would be different per situation, and also everything's just a learning experience, I think.
Of course. Of course. Yes. I think we can keep going down this one, but we're going to move on.
That's a good question, though.
Leslie asks, says, one of my brothers said, you can't listen to God and listen to songs of the world. That I gotta pick one because it's been between hell and heaven. I was like, what? But they have such meaningful songs. Yeah, music. Yeah, I think people have such different opinions on these kind of matters. And
even there was a huge issue long time ago when rock was popular, of using drums in church. They thought it was sinful to use drums in church. Yes. And they only did acoustic music, praise, with no drums. But now, like, drums are an essential in church.
Right. That's a good one too. I think we can go on for like an hour with that one, but let's
No, but you didn't address it at all.
Okay, so
hold on.
I'm thinking about what approach. Oh, we didn't have
I didn't have Wi-Fi on.
Oh, okay. We were using our data the whole
I was
time.
using my data the whole time
And
for.
then we just got a message
Oh my
saying
gosh.
you've used 75%
Oh
of
my
your
gosh!
data.
You know
So,
why?
like-
It's because it was disconnecting earlier. So
Oh.
during the member only live chat, I have
I
a
see.
member only live chat every week. That's supposed to be every month with our channel members.
Yes.
But like it was cutting off in the middle, so then I
Yeah.
turned off my Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Because we've been experiencing a little bit of issues with our Wi-Fi. But
Yes.
anyway.
Well, human communication is mediated through culture. And you can never separate religion from culture. It's impossible. If culture is language and religion is
System.
the way you live your life, really, you can't separate that. So
like your moral code
and culture changes. Culture is always changing, and in that given definition or sense, or that median, that means religion is kind of changing
Right.
as well. So let's say the word of God, the word of God doesn't change, but then the culture that mediates it through it can be different. So music, like, can you worship God through heavy death metal style music? You know that, or like a chaotic kind of
or rap.
or rap, or does it have to be like hymnal? You know, those things I find.
Does it have to be country style?
It's I think it's good to approach it case by case, but at the same time, 1 Corinthians 8, people have different consciences. If something offends someone where they will lose faith over your practice, so if you listening to so much BTS or whatever, if someone's like, oh, I really look up to Nami, but she always says I love BTS, and seems like she's idolizing BTS and putting BTS front and center above her kids and her life and career and everything, so emotive and emotional.
That would be unwise of me.
Like that's
even though like I've already overcome the stage
and
of BTS becoming an
yeah.
idol,
and
then it becomes an issue because like my actions are causing someone else to...
And so they might think like, oh, I don't really look up to you anymore, and I'm struggling with my faith now because someone who I looked up to in the past is now suddenly just idolizing something other than God. And so I think in those things, it's all case by case, right?
Because what Paul uses as an example, the Apostle Paul, what he uses as an example is food that is given to shrines or offerings given to idols, like fake gods that are statues. And some people would just eat that food. And then so he, like, the question was, is it okay to eat that food? Because like, wasn't it offered to a fake god? Then like isn't that bad to eat that food? But then, for example, like, wasn't this music secular? Isn't it bad to consume this music?
Yes.
But then Paul says, in the end, it doesn't really matter because it's just food.
Yes.
Like, what really matters is what's coming from our hearts.
Yes.
That's what matters, how much it means to us, or like what we believe in about this thing.
Yes.
And so he says, but if the person beside you is really disturbed about you eating that food, saying like,
then it's your responsibility.
Then it's your responsibility.
Yeah. Onus is on you. So, Vicky, thanks, Leslie, for that. I'm going to combine these two questions by Vicky and Key Moose. So, what do you personally think is the hardest part of learning Korean? And second with it, I find learning Korean really easy, but I have a hard time being motivated to get on it. Any advice?
So, I think, well, what was the first part?
What's the hardest part about learning Korean?
I think for me, it's the grammar and the vocabulary, because those things are memorizable. I mean, those things are things you have to memorize. But, like, for example, reading and writing is easy because the alphabet system of Korean is easy. It's just straightforward.
Yeah.
There's no, like, loopholes like in English, or there's no complicated, like, characters like in Japanese or Chinese. There's no complicated pronunciations like in Chinese. They have different accents for every single vowel. So, or like in Mandarin or Cantonese. So I think the hardest part for Korean is just memorizing grammar, memorizing vocabulary. I think an easy way to overcome like struggling to discipline yourself to study is actually not to study boring things and boring Korean. Study things that are fun.
Yes.
For example, if you have a song that you like, you can write out the lyrics, and then you can try to translate the lyrics by yourself, like by hand, and then you will learn what each word says, and then that will help you expand your vocabulary.
Yes.
You can do listening practice, so that's like writing practice. You can do listening practice by listening to the YouTube videos, Korean YouTubers, or Korean podcasts or Korean news stations. Just listening to the different phonemes and the different words that they use, and even if you don't know what it means, just repeating it. That stimulates growth in your brain with that language, and it builds neurons in your brains and brain cells that actually memorize that word. And later, when you come to learn that word's meaning, it helps you remember it better.
You're right.
So those are my top tips for any language, I think, even English.
Cool. Thanks for sharing. So, yes.
Did you say that to me?
Yeah, I said it to you. There are a couple questions I really want to do right now, but before I get to them, yeah, Nami's enamel is very strong, so she just bites through ice. I cannot do that. Thanks, all of you, for your kind compliments. We want to do a podcast. It's just a bit too much extra work that I don't think we can do at the moment.
I think what we can do
we should
is
do more talk videos.
Talk videos. I do consider them as
Yes.
video podcasts.
These are some other talk.
So
Let me just tell you like 3 or 4 top things that we want to do in our videos in the future. One is emotional infidelity, like cheating, the lines of crossing cheating, and the struggles
he's
that
so
we've had
excited
through
right
that.
now. Like
Another
people
thing,
can't tell because he's very stoic, but right now he's very excited.
Another thing is, I guess, issues and struggles of pornography, especially in dating and even in marriage context, and even like this might
In a
be
single life?
kind of a taboo word. I don't know if, but like secret masturbation, along with that, and how that implicates a relationship. That's another talk video that we want to do. We definitely want to do talks video on like the LGBTQ like 2SAI plus community and Christian perspective on that. We want to do more of that. Maybe abortion. We do a lot of topics that are just very controversial. I think it's something that we like doing. So thank you for your compliments, especially about someone said they'd love to attend a service where I'm sharing. I just take that
Like a
as
seminar?
a thanksgiving to God, because I think I'm always asking God for wisdom and guidance, but also it takes a lot of courage, because sometimes a lot of people get offended from the things that
people always get offended
from the things that we would say, and it's partly in a sense it's the way it is.
I think even though it's not even the things that we say, it's a topic that they get offended about.
Right.
For example, we had to unlist our age gap video because even though we're not encouraging pedophilic relationship, and even though we're not encouraging a statutory relationship, people are just...
It's wiser to have taken it down.
Yeah, but people are still offended just from the idea of an age gap relationship.
I think we could have approached that video differently. It's just that it was our first time talking about it, and we filmed it like 2 years ago. We edited it. It took a year to edit it, and it was just not... I don't think it was well done on our side there. Billie Eilish. Trending, YouTube trending, 17. I didn't know she was that young. Very talented.
What? She's only 17 still?
I never really listened to the songs, but maybe I will sometime. Maybe I should.
I haven't listened to her songs either. I just see some clips on Instagram here and there about her, but I don't really know much about her music. I think I've seen a video of her comparing an interview with her 1 year ago and an interview now. I just feel like maybe she's going through a phase like in her personal life where she's trying to continue to find herself, because she seems to have lost... Did you watch that video? I sent it to you.
Which one?
The one where she had kind of like bluish gray hair, and then they compared her interview from last year.
Oh yeah. Oh,
that's Billie.
Oh,
yeah.
that's cool.
So like often I think the same thing that happened to Justin Bieber is happening to her, in terms of like when you're so young and you have so much attention on you, like you start to become weary. You start to become kind of anxious, and you don't really know what, like, because everyone's eyes are on you. You feel that pressure, especially when you're so young.
Right.
Bieber was like 15. Like it was really hard on him.
That's not easy. Yeah.
And she's only 17.
That is young.
So I think like I think they're both doing a great job. Like, as long as you're living and you're working hard, like, I think they're doing a great job. But I think she's probably just working through things in her life. And I think that's great to see. And it's great that she continues to write music and to share her genuine emotions and her struggles. Like, I think that's definitely necessary.
Yes. There was a question on suffering. I can't find it anymore.
Oh, Google. Her whole time.
Control find. I can't even reach it.
I'm sorry.
I lost where I am.
Good now.
There we are. Okay. So Jody asks, how do you view evil and suffering from a Christian point of view? This is great. I talk a bit about it on my Instagram as well. Mike and Nami Plus Instagram handle. I don't really know how. Oh, I thought the camera was here the whole time. It moved over here. So, yes, so we did do a video. I think it's like a 10 or 15-minute video. It's called The Jordanian Man on this channel. I talk about my experience where one of my mentors shows me an ISIS video of a man he was burnt alive, doused in kerosene, and how that affected I really struggled with my faith.
And
this was only
the
6 years
idea
ago.
of evil and suffering.
This was when I was studying in seminary, and I was shown this video by one of my seminary professors and said, so many Christians live in a bubble, and we're so privileged, but we're not realizing that so many people are being persecuted and dying in such gruesome ways, right?
Yeah.
And I share about my journey going through that in my approach and perspective
I want more, but I'm done.
on evil and suffering. But basically, if I were to sum it down in like just one sentence,
I have something too.
John Stott, he's passed away.
John Stott. Just kidding.
John Stott.
John Stott.
He wrote a book, The Cross of Christ, and in it he has a chapter dedicated on suffering. And he says that he writes,
Wow.
If even Jesus Christ came onto this earth and suffered and died for us, how much more do we need it in our lives to become Christ-like, to mature in our faith? And suffering is a blessing.
Stand a bit.
Suffering really is a blessing.
Yeah.
It's a blessing in that, yes, we live in an imperfect world with much injustice and much suffering. It's quite horrific. But there is an answer, and the answer is really on the cross of Christ, where it has been overcome, and we go through this. We still live through it, but there is definite hope.
So my idea of suffering is that it is wonderful. Like, suffering is hard, but suffering produces character, suffering produces joy, suffering produces growth, and suffering produces an opportunity of love. This also kind of ties in with how I view evil as well, because there's a man who I really, 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 really respect, and Michael really likes him as well. It's one of his role models.
Ravi
Zacharias. So he is an apologist, and he says that there are 4 different possibilities of worlds that we can exist in. Number 1 is we can exist in a world where, hold on, what does he say? Do you remember?
I forget. I'm not an auditory learner.
Oh man, I just like remember the basic idea of it, but I don't remember exactly how it goes. So there's 4 different possibilities of a world. One world. Oh, I highlighted a comment that I wanted to be.
Oh, sorry.
Just kidding. So, one world is that we're all like, there's no God, we're all just existing, and this is just life, and we just exist. Number 2 is God created the world, but then he programmed us to just love and have no suffering and have no evil. And then number 3 is there's no world at all, like there's none of us and nothing exists. And then number 4 is there is a world where God created us, and then but then there is evil as well. But out of these 4 possible worlds, oh wow, I just remembered everything.
How do you do that?
Out of these 4 possible worlds, love, the world with evil and suffering is the only world that love can coexist with.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Right.
like, I think it's hard because evil is difficult and suffering is difficult and evil is evil. Like, evil is terrible. But that just shows how much more, like, how great
Yeah.
love and joy is.
Love can only exist if it's open to the possibility to pain.
Right. Yeah.
Thanks for your question.
Pain and suffering.
Matt Sohn asks, how are Zeke and Galahad's Korean? Not really there.
I'm surprised though because Zeke's Korean is pretty good.
It is.
Like considering that your linguistic ability is very, very poor.
Very poor.
Zeke actually picks up like pronunciation very well from me, and he copies things that I say in Korean very well. And Galahad has like a bit of an English accent when he speaks in Korean, but Zeke has like perfect pronunciation. And when he plays with his cousin Minseol, they're 16 hours apart in their births.
Yes.
But when he plays with her, he actually, because she's fluent in Korean, he actually speaks to her in Korean. They talk in Korean.
Yes.
And so, yeah, but then Galahad actually expressed that he wants to learn Japanese. So we might put him in some Japanese school.
Yes.
Because I don't think he enjoys Korean. I think, like, for him, he kind of has like a repulse to, like a being, no, what's it called? He's repelled from Korean. I don't know what to say. He has an aversion. He has an aversion to Korean. There was a question asking, like, what are your thoughts on swearing?
Swearing. So, what are your thoughts on swearing? Swearing, it's...
Do you wanna do that one first? Because it's lighter.
How are you preparing Zeke and Galahad for the baby? I think they're somewhat prepared.
Bye, Brandy.
They know that you have to be gentle, and there's gonna be like we can't.
It's gonna be hard.
We're gonna put more attention.
Mom's gonna have a surgery.
Yes, more
Mom's
attention.
Gonna be sick.
Yeah.
The baby needs to be held. The baby can't do anything.
Yes.
So, like.
And they outnumber us now, like the two kids, and then so it's.
No, 3 kids.
3. I really don't know. I think the best way is just to go through it and be patient and explain.
I'm tired. My stomach is tired from.
Okay, I think from sitting, right? I think we'll have to conclude very soon.
I'll just kind of rock her.
So.
Swearing.
Oh, swearing. So,
We also have different perspectives on this.
Yes, Nami. I guess Nami is a bit more conservative. You can put it that way. For me, I think anything can be swearing. Like I can say, shoot, and then in my heart, I'm like, I want to kill that person, and so I can like shoot, and so in a sense, I've already murdered in my heart. I've already kind of sworn, and in that sense, I would be guilty of murder. Based on Jesus' standards, right? Even if you're angry at your brother, you've already murdered in your heart. And it can come out as just like a grunt or something as well. But in terms of specific swear words, I think it's wiser not to.
Because I think it comes back to what we were talking about in 1 Corinthians of what Paul said.
Yes.
If someone beside you their conscience is disturbed, then it's better to it's your responsibility to protect and lead and guide your brothers and sisters as well.
It's not something I would lose faith over though. And sometimes colorful language is actually it's pretty interesting.
Sometimes it's helpful too in certain circumstances.
I find that sometimes, and you may disagree with me, but a swear word can be a lot more effective than not. But I don't really swear. Actually, it's something that I kind of do struggle with, but I never swear at people. I usually swear at situations.
He's only struggles with it in his heart.
Yeah.
Where he like gets very, very angry, and then he's like, grr, frustrating.
Yeah.
For me, I think like I feel it, but then I don't use those specific words because I do have an aversion to cursing. I think if anything, we should be blessing more than cursing. And even that's saying things like Michael said, like, oh, my mom is so stupid. That's the same thing as calling her a female dog in my heart. You know what I mean? And like I used to do that in middle school too. where I would like write in my agenda like angry descriptions of my mom
Yes.
in curse words. But like the thing is, like, as much as possible, we want to be a blessing more than a curse.
Yes.
Then why would we be cursing with our words or in our hearts? Like, we should be able to choose and to decide to be a blessing.
Yes.
But of course it's hard. Like, we're emotional beings, and
Yes.
we're very rash beings, and you know that happens.
Yes. 30 seconds. What's your thoughts on climate change? Mara asks.
But oh my gosh,
30
it's
seconds.
terrible. Money. The
Money?
one word, money.
Yeah.
Terrible. Selfish, money, hungry, greedy people, evil. Long time ago, 1960s, terrible, hiding, lying, cheating, and everything that I hate. And now suffering, and now like death, and now like terribleness, and now huge island of plastic, and now like animals dying, and now like whales with 7 plastic bags of garbage, plastic garbage bags, and 30 garbage bags stuck in their bellies dead. And now like our future children death. And now where's the solar panels? That's my
Yeah,
that's my,
solar panels are...
just change everything to solar panels. Now it's actually cheaper
Yeah.
to produce solar panels than it is to keep burning fossil fuels. So and keep like burning gas and oils. Like, it doesn't make sense for us to keep mining for gasoline, except for the fact that people want to keep money in that industry because that's where they invested their money. That means where they invested their money, that's where they're going to gain their money.
Right.
And so that's where their money, man.
Yeah.
Selfish people.
So money, it is an issue.
Even though it's cheaper to do solar panels now.
Yeah.
Like, literally, we could change the whole world, but they
With
just
solar
do
panels.
it for money.
It's probably going to change in like 10, 15 years, 20 years. And then they're all going to shift over. But right now, money is in the oil. So that's kind of what's projected. It's an issue. And I'm glad that a lot of people are talking about it. We have 10% battery left.
Hold on, they couldn't hear you because it's paused.
Oh, Makeda asks,
We have 10% battery
how do you
left,
build...
so this might shut off.
We have 10% battery left.
Actually,
so
no, we can charge.
we
We're so
might just go all the way up until we get canceled. How do you build a strong friendship with someone?
That's a good idea. We should say bye properly.
Oh yeah, we should say bye properly. Yeah, Nami's right. How do you build a strong friendship with
rude.
someone?
That's like someone hanging up on you. Huh? Build a strong
Oh, I
friendship?
have people hang up on me all the time, and it's like, okay, that's the end of the conversation.
No, I hate that
Okay.
because I'm emotionally attached all the time.
How do you build a strong friendship with someone, and how do you know you have a strong friendship with someone? Friendship.
Ooh, that's hard.
Friendship, so I would rule out right away, like, romantic. It's not about romance. Friendship is not about romance. It may involve it, but it's not like romantic eros, like sexual intimacy. Friendship is I don't think you should have more friends than fingers on your hands. We did do a video.
How you connect with people as people. We'll have to pee again.
We did do a video on Nami's main channel 3 years ago, talking about friends and how people could be friends when you're younger, and then if some event happens, they turn around your back and start speaking against you. I think a friend, the way I define it is, a friend is just a friend. Very simple. I don't really think there are best friends. I just say it's a good friend. It's more than an acquaintance. It's someone whom you can share with. They're willing to listen, keep you accountable for things that they see. Like if they worry about something that you're doing, or if they see you going the wrong direction, they're willing to kind of speak up. Someone who will ask you how you're doing, and someone who reciprocally you do that for them. You are accountable to them. You ask, hey, how are you doing? Hey, you said you were doing this. You wanted to do this 1 month ago, but I don't see you doing that. Like, what's going on? It takes a lot of investment. There's a lot of time and money, which is why you can't have too many friends, because you only have enough energy and time and money or whatever it is that you're expending to invest in that one friend.
it's very important to have someone like that someone that's accountable, whom you can share with, and there has to be, I think there has to be respect and confidentiality. There has to be like humility there. Sometimes, and it's interesting because sometimes a friend can be closer than a brother or sister. A friend is so, it's a blessing, a gift, really. Sometimes friends come and go. So I think what's important is it's a relationship that you work. It's a relationship that you work at. But thanks for your question there. To build it, really, it's having a lot of conversations. I think Gary Chapman's 5 languages of love, like sometimes there's gift giving, sometimes there's acts of service or quality time, or there's physical touch. I forget the last one. Words of affirmation. But even with friendship, there's like different ways you can express your love and respect in your
You're
friendship.
so cute.
Mhm.
Look at you.
So-
You're so cute.
It's always hard to explain to people. Do you guys have Twitter? No, we do not have Twitter.
Angelina. Waddle, waddle.
Craig's listing. Hello.
I should do a parody, Michael. Waddle, waddle, waddle. Do, 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 do.
A penguin waddle?
He doesn't know it
Oh.
because he's uncultured. He's more uncultured
Sorry.
than me. But I'm glad he doesn't know that.
There's a red spider bug on the laptop right here. Interesting.
Why
It's kind of,
are you throwing onto me?
it was an instinct. So, oh no, it's down here. Thank you, Craig listing. I think I'm always learning, I guess.
What did they say?
Craig's listing says, Michael, I have seen from your videos you're very humble when talking about topics from a Christian perspective. That's really the only way. I feel like I can never say that I'm right. Only insofar as saying that the word of God is right, but my perspectives are just my perspectives. I think it's important to
know that we're just people. Like,
yeah.
we're not the center of the world.
Yes,
You know,
of
some
course.
people think, they rule the world. Some people think that they are the center of the world.
And I may be wrong.
And some people think they live like above the law, and that only they matter. But that's not true.
Mm-hmm. When someone pisses me off in my mind, I'm already thinking
Wait,
on
where
how
does
to
this
end
go?
their lives. I need help.
Oh, yeah, I was like that too. I would have it was really bad because I had a lot of anger issues. Dad, do you have another USB?
No, I don't.
You only have one?
No, I have one.
Oh.
Hold on, something's going really wrong. We're so sorry this phone keeps falling.
So, yeah, can you tell them about my anger issues back then?
Nami went to anger management. She was very angry.
Wait. Sorry.
Nami went to anger management when she was younger. She was a very angry child.
I think it was more like family counseling, but I
Oh.
don't know why I believed it to be
Oh,
anger
nice.
management
Family?
in grade 3. I think it
And-
was like family counseling for single mothers or something like that.
And it makes sense though because she grew up with a lot of conflict in the household.
And witnessing
You have
like
a scar. Can you show them
Hold
your
on.
scar? What's going on?
They keep-
You have a scar. Can you show us your scar on your forehead? So that little dent there is because a plate was thrown really hard in a kitchen, aimed at Nami's mom, but missed and hit Nami in the head. And it was thrown by her biological
It's in
father.
my skull, in my
And
muscle,
so,
I think.
if you grow up with trauma and family conflict as a young child, I mean, if you grow up with anger, all you know is kind of anger.
It does, yeah, it does.
Okay.
You learn like as observatory beings, we learn from what we see, and we're the only mammals that learn from what we see, because all other mammals have instincts. Like dogs, they're born, or like any other insects. Not insects, mammals. Any other mammals, they're born, they're fed, they're taken care of for 3 to 6 months, and then they're gone.
Yeah, this is
They
a funny.
just live, and they live there with their instincts. But we're the only mammals that actually learn from observation. We're back down to 10%. I think it might be better for us.
We may have to conclude soon. The battery is draining faster than it's being charged.
Unless I charge it with this.
Okay. Sav says, "Hi, Nami, I love your hair."
Oh, thank you. Wait, so let's go back to anger issues, because I used to do that too. Like because they're saying they want to kill the person, right?
They want to kill the person? Hold on, what are you talking about?
I don't remember their name. She said
Oh.
she has problems.
Oh,
because she wants to
yeah.
kill people.
Yeah.
Because she's angry. Yeah, I used to be like that too. Okay, let me give you an example.
Okay.
So, Michael really liked Final Fantasy a long time ago. Any Final Fantasy fans?
It's a video game.
Yeah. If you like Final Fantasy, you can say yay FF. But Michael played all of the series.
Almost. Yeah.
Almost all the series.
Mm.
Yay FF. Yeah, see? I never played Final Fantasy, but anyways, back then when we first started dating, I was very, very, very possessive. I'm still very possessive because my jealousy level and my controllability level is very, I like Mario Kart is very high. So back then, when my insecurity was also mixed with my high level of possessiveness, it was also mixed with my hate for nudity and vulgarities at that time. All three of these brewed like a really, really bad situation when we went to Final Fantasy music concert. What was his name, the director?
Nobu Matsu.
Yeah, he's like the creator of all the music of Final Fantasy. He came to Toronto and he performed orchestra performance. And then during the orchestra, and I never played Final Fantasy, so I don't have any sentiments towards this game, but Michael played Final Fantasy a lot when he was younger, and they would show like video clips of the game because it's for Final Fantasy fans, right? So Michael always told me, like, back then, there's nothing vulgar about the game because everything was pixelated. Everything's pixelated and everything's pixel. Except some of the newer games, like some of the clothing were like a little bit more revealing, like crop tops or like brassiers that look like bras, like shirts that look like bras, or like shorts that are like really, really miniature on the characters. So when those clips came up, like I was mad. I was like, not okay. I was like, just like, I think it was just triggering a lot of trauma in me. And back then I was probably like 15, 16. And I didn't know about myself either back then. Like, I didn't know why I was feeling these things like that. And it was because of my past trauma. And also because of like all the combination of those three things. So I would like just imagine like dragging these characters or these designers, people who design these characters, like just dragging them and like smashing them and smashing their heads with like a spiked club or something, like really gruesome.
It was very murderous.
Yes, it was very murderous.
Yes, but that's just how you filter things, because that's how you grew up. Because I remember when you were sad, you would get mad.
Yeah.
If you were mad, you would get even more mad.
Yeah, if I was hurt, I would get mad.
Yeah, everything
would filter
translated
into
through anger and rage.
Yeah,
and
I had
wrath,
like actual
like
rage.
murderous wrath, and like I want to get a knife, and it was kind of like
that kind of stuff.
So,
like I want to stab someone like 30 times. That person, like it would be very, very intense. So, how do you get over that? I think learning more about yourself and learning about where these feelings, where these thoughts are coming from in their core origin.
Yes.
And really reconciling with that, I think, helps, because I think I improved a lot after like realizing that
Yes.
I forgive myself, I forgive my mom, but I never forgave my birth father for everything that he did.
Yes.
And when I realized that moment, like, it was so liberating. It was during a retreat, and yeah, that was like really, really changing for me. And then also suffering. I think suffering also changed a lot of my anger as well. Like having to take care of Galahad, and when he was born, like that really changed me. And after giving birth and going through, like, literally I would have died if it wasn't for the C-section.
Good night, Brooklyn.
The emergency C-section.
Yes.
So going through that kind of suffering, where my body was literally like I could have died, and like it was a very hard, difficult labor and delivery. I think that also helped me to kind of bring down my rage in a way, because it also puts into perspective that you are not the center of the world. I think that's what helped me a lot with my anger, is like people are people, and I'm a person, and I'm not God. I'm not the God of my world. Like, I don't rule my world. And people say, like, oh, do what you want as long as it makes you happy. What about the other people then? What if what you do does not make someone else happy, or what if it hurts them? Like, we have to think about these things too.
By the scale in which you use to judge others, it's going to be used against you. And yeah, so you learn from the suffering. That's great. I'm just going to say these two comments. I grew up alone, so it's hard for me to stay friends with people, Wolfie says. Starry Sky replies, what do you mean, Wolfie? All of us, not your fam, are your friends.
Aww.
Vicky Ann asked, how would you advise someone to get over being socially
We're your family, Wolfie. We love
awkward? You. I'll answer this really quick.
Oh, Michael
we're really behind. We're really behind a lot of questions.
Oh, really?
So sorry.
Michael
I was extremely socially awkward. So incredibly
he was like
socially
the
awkward.
Definition of socially. You should tell them what you did to that girl.
I think that should be saved for a story time video.
No, they get special treatment.
I did
Come
the
on,
most,
40 people in here.
I did the most socially awkward things in the world. So I didn't know how to. I had such a low self-esteem. So incredibly low self-esteem, because all I knew was how to play video games. I would play like 80 hours a week, so I wouldn't interact socially with people. I didn't know how to interact with anyone, like people,
adults, girls, kids, animals,
anything, right? I'm just like this weird...
You're just there. You're just there. You're not even a wallflower. You're just there.
Yeah. So there was this really popular Korean girl when I was in grade 9. I think she was like a lot of people thought she was attractive, and that like she was attractive, and so she.
Are you saying that as a fact? I'm just kidding.
No,
I'm not.
You think BTS is attractive? Like, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. I'm just saying it. Okay, let me just tell the story. And then she sits beside me and says, hey, you're in my class. She says something like, hey, you're in my class, aren't you?
It was at a different event, like a non-school event, and she comes up to you.
Yeah, and I don't know how to talk to people.
Hey, you go to Zion Heights, right?
Yeah, and then I'm like, hold on, this is what I thought. I had tacos just like for dinner earlier, and I was too embarrassed. Like, I was thinking about just my breath the whole time, and then. And
okay, let's reenact it. Okay, ready?
Hold on, I forgot what I said. What did I say?
No. It was just like, okay, be the girl.
Okay.
So, hey, you go to Zion, right?
Hey, you go to Zion, right?
Yes.
Ow! Oh, okay, I remember now. The phone fell. Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So
it's because there's a cord here.
She says, "Hey, you go
charger.
Hey, you go to Zion, right?" I'm like, "Yes, I do."
Can you move back a bit?
No. I said yes, and then I walk up.
Say yes, I do.
I said yes, and then I walk. I stand up and I walk away. Because I'm so awkward.
Do it again, but
oh
reversed.
My goodness, this is such a cringe moment in my life.
Here, let's do it again, but reversed.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, Wolfie. What? No, you don't have to sit in my seat. Just. Okay, so you're sitting by yourself, and then this girl comes over, like la la la. I'm pretty, and I'm not pregnant, but you know, I'm pretty and like sit down beside you. Hey, you go to Zion, right?
Yes.
What's wrong with you?
This is silly. So I'm like, yes.
No, okay. Hey, you go to Zion, right?
Yes.
That's literally
That's what I
he
did. Because I don't know how to talk to
That's
people.
so shaky.
I didn't want to talk to anyone because I didn't know how to talk to people. I was so
Turn
uncomfortable.
out of 10.
I was so incredibly socially awkward. But
I think that's the most they've ever heard you laugh.
oh really?
Honestly.
Do siblings count as cousin? I mean,
Vicky
do
says
siblings?
thanks for answering. Well,
This-
how do
this-
you get over being socially awkward then?
Oh,
How do you advise that?
Oh my
We just
goodness.
told a story. That's it.
you know, for me it was work. I worked at Toys R Us. I was even awkward with
You
kids.
were
I was-
forced to be
I was 19 years old,
speaking to them.
and then there's like this 8-year-old boy who comes up to me and says, "Hey,
where are the Bakugans?
where are like the Bakugans?" And I was socially,
Sorry.
socially awkward
I'm so sorry.
before an 8-year-old kid. I'm like, I didn't know how to answer that well. And so you can see the extent to, I guess, the depravity of my social awkwardness, how low of a self-esteem I had.
I think just like forced social interactions helped you learn
Yes.
through it. Through like
Yes.
10 years.
So for me, it was finding
10 years.
volunteer.
10 years of social interaction.
Doing something where you're kind of uncomfortably in the interaction
Involved with people, yeah.
and maybe a new environment, sometimes somewhere where
sometimes
you don't know anybody,
breaking
right?
free from how you think people already view
Yes.
you.
Yes.
Mm.
Okay, I promise we're gonna do the next questions a bit fast because we're so behind, Nami. Wolfie, thank you, Nami. I feel like we relate a lot with our mother issues. After getting out of the mental hospital, I'm taking medication and talking to someone. So hopefully one day I'll live a happy life.
Wolfie, I want you to believe. Oh my gosh, we're gonna cry. Woo! Wolfie, I want you to believe that you're living a happy life now too. Like you're working really hard, and I'm so proud of you. And I'm crying. And I just want you to know, like you don't have to live a happy life one day. You are living a happy life now, and even though it's really hard still, and even though like you know things every day can be hard, like oh my gosh, like you're doing really good, and I'm really really proud of you, and I love you. And even if it's hard at home, you know, like you have your happy life here too, and you have your happy life with us and with like the rest of people that you know you connect with and you like do life together with. So I love you.
Yes, thank you.
Keep working hard because you're working hard, and it's like I'm so glad that you're getting the help that you need. Honestly, like that really helped me a lot too when I finally like got a counselor as well. I didn't have to take any medication, but like even just speaking to a professional counselor, like it makes such a huge difference. And like from here it'll only get better. From here it'll only get better. And yeah, keep it up. I love you.
You're very strong. We met Wolfie in Chicago in November when we were there. Very encouraged
Hugs
by
all around.
your story. Very strong. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for coming out even and sticking with us through and through. Where are we now?
Are you going in order?
Yeah, I'm just backtracking. I think we missed a
scrolling.
lot of questions here.
Chat group hug. I have a syndrome and I can't have children. I've been struggling my whole life. I've struggled in school and especially work. 2019 has been a very hard year. Lost my job in January, finally found one. Wow, that sounds very, very hard, Olivia. I'm honestly like 2019 also has been pretty hard for us as well, but like equally as much of a blessing because of the baby. But like especially when you're going through things that you can't control in a way, like I think it's a very trying time whenever you experience things like that. And for me, I just hope that like you have support and and people who are there to encourage you and support you through all the difficulties this year. I'm so glad to hear that you got your job, got a job now, because I think that'll really be good. It'll help maybe moving forward. But thank you so much for sharing. I know how hard it is to talk about things that really mean a lot to us and really hurt us too. But I love you. Yeah, I feel like the last year, because of the difficulty that I was going through too, since like October, November-ish, and with the pregnancy and everything and the sickness and the like legal issues that we had to be dealing with, like when you suffer, I think when you struggle during that time is when like your heart space decreases to be able to love and to be able to share and to be able to be kind and nice, and like you're just not able to laugh and smile as much when you are going through difficulty. But I think those times of difficulty are also such a blessing.
Yes.
They're a time where we really grow and can learn and form ourselves. So we just have to push through it, because even this too shall pass, right?
Yes.
By the way, my scar healed. I get urges, but I stay strong. Love you. Go to sleep soon.
We should.
That's good to hear, Wolfie.
Thank you.
Please keep
Thank you for your support as well.
taking care of your body and your I put cream on it and stuff too, because you only have one body. We should be careful and take care of it. And your body's my body because I'm your mom, okay? 그냥 함부로 하면 안 돼. You can't just do whatever you want. 함부로 하면 안 돼. That's my body too.
Did you understand that? Craigslist thing writes, maybe do a Q&A video for questions you can't answer. Yep, that could be a good
Oh
good
my
suggestion.
gosh, there's so... Because the thing about that is, each question is its own video.
Yes.
Oh, because we really like to go in depth.
What do you do to get...
About
What do you
topic.
eat to get so pretty? I think you drink a lot of water.
Yeah, recently I've been drinking a lot of water.
Yep.
I think... Okay, funny thing is, everyone keeps saying such nice things and saying I'm pretty and everything, but then growing up, literally my mom was the only one who ever told me that I was like pretty or nice looking. Like everyone said I was ugly. And like, to be honest, if I look at my childhood photos, I do agree. Like my eyes were always swollen because I was always crying, and I always was frowning because I'm just like angry all the time as a child. And when I'm like laughing and happy, then I'm like being overly silly and annoying and obnoxious. So you know, like it's not very appealing and it's not enjoyable to the people around me. So
Yes.
yeah.
PMFSG asks, what can I do to get out of depression or self-harm? Now, this is one of those questions that we actually can't answer. Partly because, I guess for one, we're not professionals. We're not licensed professionals. We can't give really advice. And
What would you say as a social worker?
Number two, even if you had like the opinion of many experts, like I think it's
Yeah.
good. It's great to if you
Keep
haven't,
searching. Yeah.
speak to your family doctor, your practitioner.
Speak to your
Get
friends.
professional help. At the same
Your
time,
family.
it's complex because no matter how much help you may get, it's kind of like the difference between building a rocket and tackling depression. Building a rocket, you can have
It's
many different
complicated.
experts with who work together to give out a solution. You can also have a blueprint of do A, B, and C, and you'll get the same result and make a rocket. But when you're tackling depression, it's complex. It's not complicating, it's complex. Complexity is where you may have many different experts who say many different things, but still you struggle with depression.
Every case will be different.
It'll
and
be
every
different.
person will be different.
And even though there's the same formula, a blueprint, it doesn't mean that it's gonna work. So depression is complex because it doesn't mean that like it's something that you can carry with you for the rest of your life, right? But what is important is to expand a circle of those who know, who can offer professional help, or even just social support, like
and
building
emotional support too.
social safety net, so that you have that kind of support there, because a
And
lot of
sometimes
times
it's not always just medical help. Sometimes it's also just relationship with the
Right.
people that you love, and just like continued growth in that way.
The more you know about it and how it affects you, the better. For example, well, actually, no, I'm not gonna give an example. But I think that's the best thing. Like some people might say, treatment options might be, it could be medication, or it could be more sunlight. It could be exercise. It could be a type of work.
It could be
so
like
it's very
people
important to learn
spending
about
more
it
time
and
with
how it's
people.
affecting you.
Yeah.
And get
'Cause
that help. Yeah.
For me, I would get depressed when I didn't spend a lot of time with people, but then Michael would get stressed when he spends too much time with people. So it's really different for everyone. And just getting to know yourself is like one of the best first steps.
So moving on here a bit.
You mean backtracking?
Backtracking. Let's see. You should do a video on how to overcome social awkwardness or anxiety.
You should talk about that story again.
So I think we'll take one more question. I think we've caught up all the way to the bottom here. This thing is in the way.
I'm sorry.
Huh. Nami, do you know what little space is?
What's that?
I don't know.
What's little space?
Makeda also asked, I know this is a weird question, but how do you learn to know yourself?
Ooh, that's such a good question, because we keep saying that, but then how do you do that? You know what I mean? How do you do that?
Know yourself.
How do you learn to know yourself?
Well,
I
lot
think.
of it.
Sorry.
You go.
I think reflection.
Mm-hmm.
Were you gonna say that too? I
Yes.
think like thinking a lot about your past, thinking a lot about how you react to certain situations, like repetitively, habitually, thinking like impulsively, thinking about like there's introspection, reflection, where you do it on your own and you think about it. And then there's also like, if you have trouble just thinking about it by yourself, if you speak to someone about it and talk to somebody about yourself, it helps to open up questions and dialogue where you can also understand yourself better from questions that people would have that you might not think about. So for example, when I was seeing my counselor, and like she said that during the beginning of our counseling session, so right before we stopped our counseling sessions, she said in the beginning of when I started seeing her, a lot of my problems and my issues and my concerns were mostly about my mom and our relationship and the difficulty that I have like speaking with her, connecting with her, and like the difficulties and the questions that I have about like life with her. But then later she said, because during our counseling sessions I became pregnant with Galahad, so at the end she said like now your more concerns are like how you can move on from this and how you can like implement what you're learning from your relationship with your mom to better your relationship with your own child now that you're expecting. So it was really an interesting observation that she shared about our sessions, about our counseling sessions. And I think that helps a lot, because when I was having counseling sessions, like she asked me questions that normally like I wouldn't think of at all. And sometimes it helps to have family members that you speak with to understand yourself more. Sometimes it helps to have friends. Sometimes it helps to have like professional counselors, even if you feel like you're not really struggling in any specific ways. Like for me, I wasn't medically diagnosed with anything, but I do believe that because I was struggling a lot with suicidal tendencies and thoughts, I do believe that I was severely depressed at the time. However, I wasn't diagnosed or anything like that. And I don't think I had a clinical depression where, you know, it's something to do physiological with your brain.
Mm-hmm.
But just being able to see somebody and talk to someone, I think that was huge. So like personal introspection, and then also learning about yourself through the questions that you answer about yourself from people who bring a different perspective.
Yeah.
That was really long.
Yeah. I am reading all the comments, Shika. I will say, I think this is the last question that we will take. And I'm going to share a bit in it too, because some of us have to do a little more work. Bye, Misan. Some of us have to do a little more work than others to learn about yourself.
Some of these questions are so, comments are so good answering.
Some people are really interpersonally intelligent. They know other people very well. And some people are very intrapersonal.
Right. So
intelligent.
Michael,
they know a lot about themselves.
Michael knew a lot about himself.
Yeah.
But he didn't really know how to read other people.
Yeah. I really liked
people.
I
knew how to read someone and the type of person they were in the first 2 minutes of knowing this person or seeing this person and seeing how they act.
Yeah.
I would know exactly what type of person they are, but I didn't know a lot about myself. So it's different for everyone.
Yes. Hi Jay, good morning. Just woke up.
Good morning.
I like Bird Piece answered it just the way you did. Exposure and reflection. Exposure because you don't really know yourself unless you know other people. It's kind of like the Chinese proverb, you can't teach a fish what water is. It's only once a fish lives outside of water that it knows what water is, because if you've lived only in water for your entire life, then you don't know what water is unless you know the opposite of it is. So sometimes to learn more about yourself, you need to learn more about other people. Reflection. Well, there are many questions that you can probably pull up on Google as well, like introspective questions, introspective reflection questions, questions to learn more about yourself, and really take time to sit down for a couple hours and journal it out. It's different when you write it out than when you just think it. It does help a lot. But yeah, I think that's it. By faith, I think we'll conclude our live stream here. Faith. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been 2.5 hours. It's been great.
Oh my gosh, really? Is this the longest live stream we've ever had?
That time went by fast.
But the scary thing is we couldn't even answer every question.
Thank you. Yes, tomorrow's Monday morning. We have to get ready. And yes, thank you so much. It was great. It was fun.
Yes.
Have a great Monday, everyone.
Please keep us in your prayers. We'll be thinking of you and praying for you too.
Yes, God bless. Thanks so much.